Chapter 1901. Qin Wentian was that constellation. It was just that right now, he was enveloped by boundless astral light, resembling a real constellation. No one could see his silhouette, they could only see the light radiating from him. At this moment, the final astral gate vanished. What replaced it was a boundless starry sky. In his sea of consciousness, there seemed to be a starry sky with countless constellations illuminating it. Every time a constellation's radiance landed on Qin Wentian's body, another constellation would be lit up. After waiting for countless years, there is finally someone who can inherit my unfulfilled wish. I hope that one day, you will be able to transcend beyond the 9 heavenly layers and look at the scenery outside. From now on, there will no longer be a God King Shi in the 9 heavenly layers. A voice rang out in Qin Wentian's mind. As the sound of his voice faded, a formless beam of light flowed into Qin Wentian's mind. Above the 9 heavenly layers, the god's extinction path seemed to radiate an illusory fluctuation that drilled into Qin Wentian's mind. At the same time, the scenes inside the heaven vault were also imprinted into Qin Wentian's mind. At this moment, within the heaven vault, the statues on the 10 stone pillars turned into stone statues, never to move again. The blood sea gradually dried up. There were no longer any evil spirits within. The ancient path that connected the 9 heavenly layers was faintly discernible, as though it would vanish at any moment. Above the 9 heavenly layers, the desolate space seemed to have no end. There were even more ancient corpses floating about. Other than this, there were actually many living figures. We're out. Finally, we're out. Numerous voices rang out one after another. Those heavenly deities drew in a deep breath as their eyes flashed with the vicissitudes of life. They finally saw the 9 heavenly layers again and could sense the loneliness and desolation of this space. They were no longer trapped in a spacetime maze. Qin Zheng and his group were also here. He stood there and drew in a deep breath. Has the god's extinction path vanished? Father. Qin Dangtian, who was at the side, called out. We are out. Qin Zheng nodded. He glanced at his wife beside him and held her hand. He then glanced at the heavenly deities beside him. In the god's extinction path, the Qin clan lost 2 heavenly deities. In the years after that, they were extremely cautious, but there was still a heavenly deity who almost lost his life and was heavily injured. However, he was still saved by Qin Zheng based on his overwhelming strength. It was like a nightmare, and now, it had finally ended. It was not only a nightmare for Qin Zheng and the others, but also for the cultivators of the other forces. Although the number 1 fairy of the 9 heavens, the fairy of the 9 heavens, was still as beautiful as ever, she still looked a little haggard. However, this added to her beauty. There is always a way out. A heavenly deity roared in joy. Heavenly deities had also experienced despair. However, since they were still alive, they might as well just treat it as a nightmare. After the heavenly deities sighed, a question suddenly appeared in their hearts. Why did the god's extinction path suddenly vanish? Could it be that someone had discovered the secret of the god's extinction path? They glanced at the people in the surroundings. Although this space was very vast, it wasn't as vast as the god's extinction path. Inside there seemed to be a chaotic spacetime. In fact, they might not even be in the same spacetime anymore. Qin Zheng, you are still alive. The Qinkuan sect leader laughed. If you didn't die, how would I die? Qin Zheng replied. The Qinkuan sect leader laughed loudly. After that, he stepped out and flew towards the 9 heavenly layers. Sadly, after so many years, I didn't manage to discover anything. All the cultivators stepped forward and descended to the ground. They are back, they are back. The people cultivating in the 9 heavenly layers all had looks of excitement in their eyes when they saw the powerful figures flying down. The supreme ancient immortal realms lacked these people, wouldn't it be too boring? After all, these people were all heavenly deities and many of them were hegemons at the peak of their respective regions. Qin Wentian also knew that they have exited. Just like what his grandfather has guessed, all of this was because of God King Shi's brilliance. That God's extinction path might have been formed from the boundless will of God King Shi. His will covered the 9 heavenly layers and created the God's extinction path. How terrifying was this? Even heavenly deities had no way to exit it and might even die within. Not only did Qin Wentian know that they have exited, he could also see many people entering the heaven vault from the outside world. Everything within the heaven vault was imprinted clearly in his mind. It was like the heaven vault was already under his control. He could sense an extremely terrifying existence that resembled Qin Zheng. However, the aura he exuded was even more terrifying compared to Qin Zheng. This caused Qin Wentian to instantly think of a person. Qin Zheng's father, an existence who stood at the same level as his grandfather back then, Qin Ding of the Qin clan. He must have learned that his descendants were trapped in the heaven vault. This was why he rushed over. This caused Qin Wentian to frown. Although he has already taken the most crucial step, this didn't mean that his strength would soar to the point where he could contend against Qin Ding. Cultivation was never something that could be accomplished in a single step. This transformation this time would allow him to walk on a path that no one has ever walked before. However, he needed time to comprehend it. During these 200+ years, his improvement was very great, but he wasn't so arrogant to the point where he felt that he would be able to surpass the peak heavenly deities of the supreme ancient immortal realms. To heavenly deities, 200+ years was truly a very short period of time. Right now, Qin Zheng and his family came out and Qin Ding appeared. To him, this was undoubtedly a huge problem. Although he was in the boundless starry space and Qin Ding might not be able to find him, who knows if something unexpected would happen to a powerful existence like Qin Ding. In addition, he wasn't the only one in the heaven vault now. Qing'er and the others were also cultivating in the starry space. Luckily, the heaven vault now was already under his control. In that case, these troubles wouldn't be a problem anymore. With an intention of his will, the ancient heaven vault path that connected the 9 heavenly layers to the 9 heavenly layers gradually turned illusory, like it would vanish at any moment. At this instant, the gazes of many people on the ancient heaven vault path froze. What was going on? Qin Zheng and the other heavenly deities just arrived here when they saw the transformation of the ancient heaven vault path. They couldn't help but have strange looks in their eyes. What happened? Someone asked in a light voice. The God's extinction path is vanishing, the ancient heaven vault path is faintly discernible. Could it be that the ancient heaven vault path is going to vanish as well? Someone frowned. The ancient heaven vault path turned from bright to dark. In fact, the ancient heaven vault path would occasionally vanish as though it no longer existed. This caused their hearts to clench. Seems like the ancient heaven vault path was truly going to be severed. The ancient heaven vault pathway connected the heaven vault to the 9 heavenly layers, shortening this boundlessly long distance into a single pathway. It traversed through the starry space, and when it transformed, everyone in the starry space would be able to see it. At this moment, many people had a thought in their minds. Should they return? They didn't wish to return. During these 200 years of cultivation, their improvements were extremely great, they could be said to have undergone a transformation. There were also some world overlords who stepped into the deity realm. Nobody wanted to return. What place could be more effective than comprehending the Tao on a constellation? Not even heavenly deities wanted to return. However, if they didn't return, once the ancient heaven vault path completely vanished, they might be stuck in the starry space forever. It was unknown when they would be able to return to the supreme ancient immortal realms. Could it be that they would have to roam the boundless starry space forever? The leaders of some major powers gave the order to retreat. For a period of time, many experts followed the ancient heaven vault path, heading towards the heaven vault with reluctance in their hearts. Not only so, in the outside world, the entrance to the heaven vault was also undergoing a transformation. The entrance trembled, the crack in the sky was closing bit by bit. The hearts of many people trembled. Was the heaven vault about to close again? In history, the opening and closing of the heaven vault had always been irregular. This time around, it seemed that the time for the heaven vault to close was about to arrive. The heaven vault trembled. Many people took out their messaging crystals and contacted the elders in the heaven vault who were related to them, telling them the news that the heaven vault was about to close. Hence, this news circulated unceasingly. The experts in the 9 heavenly layers all stopped their cultivation and prepared to leave. Wentian, the heaven vault is about to close. Where are you? Luotian Chuan's voice rang out in Qin Wentian's mind. Grandfather, just focus on your cultivation. There's no need to worry about this. Qin Wentian replied. Luotian Chuan started when he heard Qin Wentian's voice. After that, he seemed to have understood something as a faint smile appeared on his face. Hence, he closed his eyes and continued to focus on his cultivation. He felt even more at ease compared to the past. He knew that from now onwards, the heaven vault would be controlled by his grandson. Wentian Gij, are we going to return? Bai Qing's voice rang out. After that, Qing, Nanfeng Yaoyue, Little Rascal and the others all inquired about Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian gave them the same answer. He told them to focus on their cultivation and ignore the changes in the heaven vault. Hence, everyone continued to focus on their cultivation. For those who didn't ask about the heaven vault, Qin Wentian also took the initiative to inform them. Hence, other than Qin Wentian's friends and family, the other experts in the starry space all started to leave. After Qin Ding arrived, he discovered that the heaven vault was about to close. He stared at the starry space and after that, a voice suddenly rang out in his mind. He felt slightly at ease in his heart. Qin Zheng and the others were all alive and were currently returning. Not long after, Qin Ding saw Qin Zheng and the others returning. However, 2 heavenly deities were missing. Father. Qin Zheng walked towards Qin Ding, wanting to speak. He had many things he wanted to say. In the god's extinction path, he met Qin Tiangang. The heaven vault is about to close. Let's return first. We will talk on the way. Qin Ding spoke. Qin Zheng nodded. After that, the group of them returned. Qin Dang Tian turned his head and glanced at the 9 heavenly layers. His gaze was incomparably sharp, filled with reluctance. However, he still turned back and followed his grandfather, father and the others as they departed. Outside the heaven vault, in the boundless sea region, at the point where the sky and the sea connected, more and more experts walked out from the heaven vault. Everyone understood that the storm that lasted for over 200 years was finally about to end. Chapter 1902. The heaven vault trembled, the number of people in the heaven vault grew lesser and lesser. The number of experts gathered at the boundless sea region grew more and more. Those peak characters all walked out, causing countless people to stare at them in admiration. For those who walked out of the heaven vault, some of them were hegemonic characters from the supreme ancient immortal realms. That's Qin Zheng, the clan leader of the Qin clan and Heaven's son Qin Dang Tian. Who is that old man in front of them? Qin clan, Qin Ding. He was once an all-powerful character. Someone's eyes gleamed with sharpness. Even Qin Ding came. Many people sighed in admiration. The 9 heavens mystical maiden has also come out. She's so beautiful, unparalleled in this world. The fairies of the 9 heavens mystical maiden palace are all so beautiful. The mysterious lady of the next generation has also stepped into the heavenly god realm. So powerful. There's actually a young man beside her. That's Lin Xiao, one of the pursuers of the mystical maiden, the successor of the Qiankuan sect leader. Now, he has also broken through to the heavenly deity realm. This time around, it seems like there are many geniuses in the Heaven Vault who underwent a transformation, becoming deities. Most probably, the supreme ancient immortal realms will welcome a brand new era of glory. More and more powerful characters walked out, causing the people of the world to sigh in admiration. The trembling of the Heaven Vault grew increasingly intense. The entrance of the Heaven Vault sigh, was slowly closing. It felt like it would close at any moment. Finally, when there were no more people exiting the Heaven Vault, a thunderous rumbling sound rang out as the Heaven Vault directly closed. The Heaven Vault seemed to have vanished from the world. In the airspace above the sea region, there was only the sky, there was no Heaven Vault. It disappeared. Many experts sighed silently. During these 200+ years, they had comprehended many things. This time around, the secrets of the Heaven Vault were truly unraveled. Everyone knew that the Heaven Vault was connected to the 9 heavenly layers. Sadly, it only lasted for 200 years. If not, the existence of the Heaven Vault would allow the geniuses of the supreme ancient immortal realms to cultivate even faster. In the future, more and more heavenly deities would be born. He had no idea when the next opening of the Heaven Vault would be. After Qin Dangtian exited, his gaze wandered about. After that, he found the person he was looking for. With a flash of his silhouette, he flew over. Before him, a maiden as beautiful as a celestial maiden appeared. This was none other than the #1 beauty of the heaven region, goddess Nikhang. Nikhang, have you been cultivating well during these years? Qin Dangtian asked. After over 200 years, goddess Nichang's expression was still as calm as ever when she saw Qin Dangtian again. She nodded lightly. Qin Ding glanced over and asked Qin Zheng, that is the granddaughter of Chu Shen who has an engagement with Dang Er, right? Qin Zheng nodded. Recently, there are some bad rumors circulating around the supreme ancient immortal realms. Qin Ding calmly spoke. What rumor? Qin Zheng was puzzled. He was trapped in the god's extinction path and didn't know what was happening outside. Qin Ding spoke of some of the rumors about Qin Wentian and goddess Nikhang. Qin Zheng's expression grew unsightly. To their Qin clan, this was truly a matter of losing face. Qin Dangtian seemed to have sensed something. He turned his gaze over and spoke to goddess Nikhang. Nikhang, my grandfather is here as well. Go and pay your respects to him. Goddess Nikhang glanced in Qin Ding's direction. After that, she followed Qin Dangtian to Qin Ding's side and didn't say anything. Qin Ding's gaze was filled with imposingness. He stared at goddess Nikhang. Nikhang, your grandfather and I are old friends. I'm sure you have heard of the rumors about you in the immortal realms. Back then, did Qin Wentian do anything to you? Goddess Nikhang turned pale when she heard Qin Ding's question. She felt a little unsightly. She inclined her head and stared at Qin Ding as she coldly replied, no. Qin Ding stared at her eyes and nodded, it's good that you didn't. Find a time to marry Dang Er. I will go and discuss this with your grandfather. Let's leave together. Everyone flashed. Qin Zheng was frowning. His wife was the same as well. Qin Wentian, how did he leave the god's extinction path? Qin Zheng didn't understand. There was a story between Qin Wentian and Nikhang in the outside world. That was after they entered the god's extinction path. This meant that Qin Wentian had exited the god's extinction path. Maybe it was Qin Tiangang. Qin Ding calmly spoke. His younger brother died in the god's extinction path. Maybe, he found the exit. Qin Zheng's eyes flashed. There was such a possibility. Although it was inconceivable, he didn't believe that Qin Wentian would be able to exit the god's extinction path by himself. In the boundless sea region, the people here gradually dispersed, leaving this region. In the Heaven Vault, the 9 heavenly layers became extremely quiet. There was almost no human silhouette in sight. Qin Wentian stepped out and came to the Heaven Vault ancient path. That path which was on the verge of dissipating became incomparably clear and stable again. There were no signs of dissipating at all. Wentian. Luotian Chuan's figure flashed as he appeared beside Qin Wentian. He asked, "Now, can you already control the heaven vault?" "Yes, grandfather. In the future, you can cultivate in peace in the heaven vault. Without my permission, no one will be able to enter." Qin Wentian smiled. Numerous figures flew over to Qin Wentian. These were all Qin Wentian's family and friends who were cultivating in the starry space. When they heard Qin Wentian's words, they didn't go out. However, they noticed that the others had all left. At this moment, they came to Qin Wentian's side. They still didn't understand what was going on. "Wentian Gij, why is the heaven vault ancient path stable again?" Bai Qin asked in a light voice. Qin Wentian stretched his hand and patted Bai Qin's head. He warmly smiled, "This heaven vault ancient path is already under my control." Bai Qin's beautiful eyes flashed with a bright light. "In that case, doesn't that mean that we can cultivate here forever? In addition, Wentian Gij can allow whoever he wants to enter." Qin Wentian nodded. The hearts of everyone trembled, even Luotian Chuan. He knew very well what this meant. This meant that Qin Wentian would be able to create experts at the peak of the supreme ancient immortal realms in the future. This was simply too terrifying. For example, if Qin Wentian allowed the people of the Luotian clan to enter the heaven vault, how terrifying would the development of the Luotian clan be in the future? Most probably, they would be able to shake off the Divine Ox clan very quickly. As long as they were given enough time, they would be able to regain their former glory. In that case, in the future, the people of the Battle Saint tribe can all come here to cultivate? Qi Yu asked in shock. That's only natural. Wentian, the people of my Namhuang clan also want to cultivate here. The Southern Phoenix matriarch smiled. Yaoyue, you have already said so. There's naturally no problem. Qin Wentian smiled. His eyes gleamed. In the future, his family, friends and followers would all be able to cultivate in the heaven vault. Grandfather, didn't you say that there are many people in the Luotian clan who want to follow you? In the past, you didn't want to completely split the Luotian clan apart. In addition, you didn't have a stable foothold in the desolate region and it wasn't convenient for you to bring too many people from the Luotian clan with you. Now, this problem can be resolved. You can slowly contact the Luotian clan and get those who are willing to follow you to cultivate in the heaven vault. I believe the Luotian clan would definitely be able to rise up once again. Qin Wentian spoke. The Luotian clan was his mother's clan. It was the blood and sweat of his grandfather. Also, the Luotian clan itself was already very powerful, they naturally had to be nurtured well. Right. Luotian Chuan didn't reject this time around. He nodded. With such a good cultivation environment, he naturally hoped that the people of the Luotian clan would be able to enjoy it. After Qin Ding and the others left the heaven vault, they headed to Chu Shen's residence in Boundless City to discuss the marriage between Goddess Nikhang and Qin Wentian. There were some rumors saying that this matter was somewhat unhappy. Chu Shen didn't seem to want to settle the marriage so soon. No one knew what his intentions were. However, Qin Ding's attitude was unyielding and directly set the date. After that, he left the Chu residence with Qin Zheng and the others, returning to the Qin clan. Naturally, no one knew the exact details. There were only rumors saying that after the people of the Qin clan left, Chu Shen was enraged and his anger spread throughout the Chu residence. After that, Goddess Nikhang never left the Chu residence again. This marriage between the two of them seemed to have a shadow cast over it. Maybe it was because of the rumors back then. After all, Qin Wentian and Goddess Nikhang had already been rumored twice. Up until now, Qin Wentian still had the title of the shameless heavenly deity. After Qin Zheng returned to the Qin clan, the more he thought about it, the more he felt that something was wrong. There was something fishy about the heaven vault's closing. In a majestic ancient palace in the Qin clan, he frowned when he heard the news from his subordinates. After they left the Heaven Vault, they still sent people to watch over it. But even when the Heaven Vault closed, they still didn't see Qin Wentian exiting. They also didn't see Luo Shenchuan. At that time, as long as he discovered Qin Wentian and the others, he would immediately return to capture them. However, he didn't do so. It was as though they were no longer in the Heaven Vault. He stared at the people of Azure Mystic. During these 200+ years, Qin Wentian had returned to the Heaven Vault several times. In fact, he even brought some people away from Azure Mystic. It was unknown where they headed to. But if there were no accidents, they should be heading to the Heaven Vault. In addition, Qin Wentian had exited the God's Extinction Path before. Before the Heaven Vault closed, the God's Extinction Path vanished. Qin Zheng kept feeling that something was wrong. This was especially so when he thought of some things in the past. That mysterious treasure Qin Yuanfeng obtained seemed to have been obtained by Qin Tiangang from the Heaven Vault. Why did they keep chasing after Qin Yuanfeng? Now, they wanted to capture Qin Wentian alive for the same reason. In that case, could it be possible that the mysterious treasure was already passed on to Qin Wentian by Qin Yuanfeng? As for Qin Wentian, he unraveled the secret of the Heaven Vault, causing the God's Extinction Path to vanish and the Heaven Vault to close. One couldn't help but say that Qin Zheng's conjecture was the truth. But no matter what, it was still a conjecture. Qin Zheng commanded, "Get people to monitor the Heaven Vault's movements. Also for the Azure Mystic Immortal realms, make sure to disguise yourselves well. We don't need people who are too strong, just pretend to be people cultivating in the boundless sea." Roger. Someone received the order and left. Qin Zheng stood up, his expression was cold. If things were really like what he speculated, Qin Yuanfeng's son, Qin Wentian, might have accomplished something his father couldn't. Chapter 1903. Other than Qin Zheng, there was another person who ordered people to monitor the Heaven Vault. This person was none other than Yu Changkong. For over 200 years, he was trapped in the God's Extinction Path and improved greatly. Right now, he was at the Heavenly Deity realm, but after he exited the Heaven Vault, he actually heard rumors regarding Qin Wentian. This meant that Qin Wentian, who was trapped in the God's Extinction Path, easily exited it. After exiting the Heaven Vault, Yu Changkong didn't leave. He was waiting for Qin Wentian, but he didn't manage to find him. There were only two possibilities. Either Qin Wentian wasn't in the Heaven Vault or he didn't come out at all. With regards to Qin Wentian, Yu Changkong had always viewed him as his mortal enemy. This mortal enemy was like a baleful star in his life. He also believed that Qin Wentian had his own extraordinary aspects. Even if Qin Wentian unraveled the secret of the Heaven Vault and exited the God's Extinction Path, Yu Changkong wouldn't feel strange at all. Because, he was Qin Wentian, the person who caused him to be consigned to eternal damnation. He hated Qin Wentian, but he also admired this opponent of his. Just like how Qin Wentian viewed Qin Wentian as his mortal enemy, Yu Changkong viewed Qin Wentian as his mortal enemy. Killing Qin Wentian was his most intense obsession. Hence, at the location where the Heaven Vault was located, in the boundless sea region, the waves kept on crashing. On the surface of the sea, there was someone floating on a boat, seemingly cultivating, but his cultivation base wasn't high. This boat drifted with the waves, seemingly at ease with the situation. In the midst of the churning waves, a head suddenly appeared. This wasn't the head of a human, it was the head of a demonic beast from the sea region. Its demonic eyes glanced at the location where the Heaven Vault disappeared before it dove into the sea again, vanishing from sight. In the boundless sea region, the sound of the waves churning and the howling of the hurricanes rang out unceasingly. However, the airspace above the sea region was so calm. It was hard to imagine that not long ago, a storm of commotion erupted here, causing experts from the 8 regions to gather here. During these days, there was no commotion in the Heaven Vault. Qin Wentian was worried that there would be people trying to pry into the secret of the heaven vault. Hence, he didn't come out and continued to cultivate in the 9 heavenly layers. He was prepared to wait until the storm subsided before he came out. He naturally understood that once news of him controlling the heaven vault leaked out, there would surely be trouble. This was a place that could attract the attention of experts from the supreme ancient immortal realms, including heavenly deities. This was the most suitable place for cultivation in the supreme ancient immortal realms. Qin Wentian spoke to Luotian Chuan, "Grandfather, you have to be careful in this trip to the desolate region. If the Qin clan is targeting you, I'm afraid other than me, they would also have their eyes on you." "I know. You have to be careful too." Luotian Chuan nodded as he instructed. "Don't worry, grandfather. Right now, I still have the ability to protect myself." Qin Wentian confidently spoke. Luotian Chuan nodded. After cultivating for over 200 years, the current Qin Wentian was no longer the same as before. Right now, his grandson was already a truly powerful heavenly deity. The two of them parted in Boundless City. After all, the destination of this trip was different. Luotian Chuan directly sped away while Qin Wentian entered Boundless City. He wanted to pay a visit to Chushan. Firstly, it was out of courtesy. After all, Chu Mo and Nikhang had shown him grace before. Secondly, he wanted to know if Qin Zheng had mentioned marriage to Chushan. Although he told Chushan about his father's attitude, it was still too difficult for him to reject the Qin clan. The Qin clan was one of the hegemonic powers in the heaven region. After arriving at the Chu residence, the atmosphere was somewhat quiet. Qin Wentian went to look for Chushan. Upon seeing Qin Wentian, a smile appeared on Chushan's face. "Grandpa Chu," Qin Wentian called out. "Wentian, thank you." Chushan nodded lightly. If Qin Zheng or Qin Dangtian could be as respectful to him as Qin Wentian was, he wouldn't have anything to say. "Nikhang, Wentian is here. Why aren't you coming out to greet him?" Chushan called out. A moment later, Goddess Nikhang appeared. She was as beautiful as ever, but there was a hint of cold in her eyes when she stared at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian could only smile bitterly. "There's no need to trouble Nikhang. I'm only here to greet Grandpa Chu. I will leave after that." Qin Wentian shifted his gaze away and smiled. "Since you are here, why don't you take a seat? I'll get someone to prepare a banquet." Chushan spoke. "Just in time, you can accompany me for a chat. The new waves of the river will surpass the old. I didn't expect you to be so young, yet you have already reached the heavenly deity realm. The younger generations will truly surpass us in time." Qin Wentian was helpless and could only agree to stay behind. The banquet was soon prepared. Goddess Nikhang accompanied Chushan, but she didn't say anything. Qin Wentian and Chushan were the only ones chatting. As they chatted, the topic shifted to the heaven vault and the Qin clan. Chushan's expression also grew colder. Qin Wentian could sense Chushan's attitude and felt somewhat strange. He then heard Chushan saying, "After the heaven vault ended, Qin Ding and Qin Jing came here." "MHM?" Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. Could it be that Chushan's coldness had something to do with this? Qin Ding actually made a trip here personally. Back then, there were some rumors about you and Nikhang. I actually hoped that the Qin clan would take the initiative to annul the marriage. If that's the case, although I would lose face, at the very least, I would be able to answer to Nichang's father. However, Qin Ding first asked Nikhang if you did anything to her. After she denied it, Qin Ding directly wanted to set a date. I initially wanted to drag things out, but Qin Ding's attitude was extremely unyielding. Although we are old acquaintances, our statuses are now different. Qin Ding no longer has any face left. Chushan calmly spoke. Qin Wentian sighed in his heart. Maybe, this was the reality of the cultivation world. He turned his gaze to Goddess Nikhang. Upon hearing about her marriage, Goddess Nikhang lowered her head slightly. What is Nikhang thinking in her heart exactly? Is she willing or not? Qin Wentian asked. It was unknown if he was asking Chu Shen or Goddess Nikhang. If Goddess Nikhang was willing, he would have nothing to say. Although, he really didn't wish for his benefactor to marry his enemy. Nikhang, Wentian isn't an outsider. Why don't you tell Grandpa your thoughts? Chu Shen spoke to Goddess Nikhang. Not an outsider. Qin Wentian felt warmth in his heart. Chu Shen really treated him like a junior. Goddess Nikhang inclined her head. Her beautiful and flawless eyes glanced at Chu Shen before turning to Qin Wentian. Her expression was as cold as ever, no one could tell what she was thinking in her heart. I don't have any thoughts. Goddess Nikhang stood up. She actually didn't say anything and turned to leave just like that. This caused Qin Wentian to start. Upon seeing this scene, Chu Shen's eyes flashed. He spoke in a light voice, I most probably already know what this lass is thinking. Grandpa Chu, what do you think? Qin Wentian asked. She doesn't want to, Chu Shen said calmly. Qin Wentian's eyes flickered. It's just that given the current strength of the Qin clan, even if they are unwilling. Qin Ding sighed in his heart, hating himself for being useless. It was one thing that his strength was inferior to Qin Ding's, but he was also injured. Now that he had promised the Qin clan, it wouldn't be so easy for him to go back on his words. Ni Shang clearly understood this as well, so, even if she wasn't willing, she wouldn't say it out loud, because she would consider this useless old man. Qin Wentian left the Chu residence with a heavy heart. Chu Mo had asked him to pass a message to Qin Wentian, but was he unable to stop some things from happening? After leaving, he naturally prepared to return to Qing Xian. Just when he returned to Azure Mystic, a piece of news suddenly circulated around the supreme ancient immortal realms. The Heaven Vault wasn't truly closed. It was because the secrets of the Heaven Vault had been unraveled by someone. The Heaven Vault was controlled by someone and was artificially closed. A single stone caused 1,000 ripples. The supreme ancient immortal realms were shaken once more. The Heaven Vault, how could the hegemonic powers of the supreme ancient immortal realms forget about such a sacred cultivation ground? Right now, news circulated out that the Heaven Vault was actually controlled by someone. A formless storm was brewing. Chapter 1904. The strange thing was that this news didn't originate from the Heaven region, it originated from the Mystic region instead. After that, the person controlling the Heaven Vault was also revealed. It was none other than the shameless and lecherous heavenly deity of the supreme ancient immortal realms, Qin Wentian. The news said that once, many hegemonic characters of the supreme ancient immortal realms, including the Qin clan leader, Chenkuan sect leader, Nine Heavens mystical maiden, all entered the god's extinction path at the end of the Heaven Vault. No one was able to exit. There was only one exception, and that was none other than Qin Wentian. He brought his maternal grandfather, Luotian Chuan, out of the god's extinction path safely. After that, the god's extinction path vanished, allowing everyone to escape. There was also news that many days after the Heaven Vault closed, there were people who personally saw Qin Wentian exiting the Heaven Vault. In the supreme ancient immortal realms, many people believed this news, including those hegemonic characters. Because, they had entered the god's extinction path before. If it wasn't for the fact that they knew the secret of the god's extinction path, they would definitely have no hope of exiting. Hence, the originally calm Heaven Vault was once again stirred. Many experts from the 8 regions rushed to Boundless City. Their target was still the Heaven Vault. Outside the Heaven Vault, experts were as common as clouds. Although it wasn't as grand as before, many of these people were from the hegemonic powers of the 8 regions. They wanted to meet with Qin Wentian. If the rumors were true, they wanted Qin Wentian to open the Heaven Vault and allow them to enter it for cultivation. At this moment, Qin Wentian had already returned to the Azure Mystic Immortal realms. He was preparing to bring his friends and family to the Heaven Vault for cultivation. Being close to the constellations was undoubtedly the most suitable place for stellar martial cultivators to comprehend insights. Although he returned to Azure Mystic, he soon received news from the Supreme Ancient Immortal Realms. As expected, this news circulated. This was also within his expectations. Many people transmitted their voices to Qin Wentian, including some experts from the Tiandao Sacred Academy. However, this was fine as well. Since the news had already circulated, he was more at ease and didn't hide anything. He directly told those who transmitted their voices to him that the Heaven Vault was indeed under his control now. This news circulated like wildfire. For a period of time, the entire Supreme Ancient Immortal Realms was shaken. More and more experts gathered towards the Heaven Vault. So it turned out that everyone in the world was deceived by Qin Wentian. The Heaven Vault didn't automatically close but was controlled by someone. The name of Qin Wentian once again swept across the celestial realm, and this time, he was even more famous. After that, more news circulated out. Back then in the world of reincarnation in the Tiandao Sacred Academy, the person who entered the legendary place was none other than Qin Wentian. He was the true Heaven's Son and was even more outstanding compared to Qin Dangtian. He would definitely take revenge on the Qin clan. Qin Dangtian, the so-called Heaven's Son, was nothing but a joke. Even his women were played by others before. This news was somewhat malicious, insulting the Qin clan. At the same time, many experts in the Qin clan and the Supreme Ancient Immortal Realms started to feel trepidation towards Qin Wentian. The son of the traitor Qin Yuanfeng and the Luotian clan's goddess, Luotian Qianxue. Now, he became a deity, controlled the Heaven Vault, abducted goddess Nikhang, and entered the legendary place of the Tiandao Sacred Academy. All of these things truly made the people of the Supreme Ancient Immortal Realms feel that a supreme character was silently rising up. In addition, he had already reached a sufficiently high level. Everything seemed somewhat baffling, but such a character suddenly appeared. The Supreme Ancient Immortal Realms started to take a name seriously. Qin Wentian was no longer a young man of the younger generations. He was a heavenly deity who controlled the Heaven Vault. It was said that he had only cultivated for roughly 1,000 years or so. His future was something no one could imagine. In the Supreme Ancient Universe region, in the Pure Land of Bliss, in a sacred ground of the Buddhist sect, an esteemed monk pressed his palms together and faced the west. 7 abstinences. At this moment, a voice rang out. Behind the esteemed monk, the shadow of a Buddha appeared, radiating resplendent light. Reverend 7 abstinences pressed his palms together and bowed to the ancient Buddha. A storm is brewing in the Supreme Ancient Immortal Realms. Go and enter the world. The ancient Buddha's voice rang out. 7 abstinences nodded. After that, he turned and descended the mountain, staring into the distance. Back then, all the geniuses entered the world of reincarnation. However, the person who entered the legendary place wasn't him. Right now, that person had already caused a huge commotion in the Supreme Ancient Immortal Realms. In the Che clan, golden light filled the sky. As the #1 weaponsmithing aristocrat clan in the Supreme Ancient Immortal Realms, the Che clan was like a gigantic golden world, incomparably resplendent. It was like a divine formation, radiating boundless light that seemed capable of unleashing world-shaking might at any moment. Within the Che clan, Che Ying stood before a majestic ancient palace. Right now, he has already become a deity, stepping into the divine Tao in the Heaven Vault. However, there was news that the young man who almost died in the world of reincarnation back then was none other than the person who entered the legendary place. In addition, he even obtained the Heaven Vault. He decided to set off once again, heading to the Heaven region. And in the Heaven region, in the Qianquan sect, Lin Xiao stared into the distance as he thought back to the crazed young man. He didn't expect that it would actually be him. Also, he even controlled the Heaven Vault. How interesting. Desolate region, Divine Ox Castle. Recently, the Ox chieftain of the Divine Ox clan was frequently angered. Recently, there were many rumors regarding Qin Wentian. Some people guessed that Devil Ox of his Divine Ox clan died in Qin Wentian's hands. The Battle Saint Bone has long fallen into Qin Wentian's hands. And now, Qin Wentian controlled the Heaven Vault and even became a deity. Also in the desolate region, in the Demon God Mountain, the 5 sovereigns gathered together. Luotian Chuan was present as well. The Kuan sovereign spoke in a somewhat depressed manner, that brat has no conscience. I taught him for so many years but he didn't even tell me this secret. He actually hid in the Heaven Vault to cultivate and didn't tell me even when I called him back. Kuan sovereign, you should know that little rascal has been following my grandson since he was young. The relationship between them is extremely deep. You should know what would happen if this secret is exposed. You have already seen the situation now. The supreme ancient immortal realms are in an uproar, it's normal for little rascal to temporarily hide this from you. Luotian Chuan spoke. No conscience, we nurtured him for nothing. The Kuan sovereign spoke in anger. Luotian Chuan, the Luotian clan is an ally of our Demon God Mountain. What is Qin Wentian's attitude towards the Heaven Vault? Can our Demon God Mountain enter there to cultivate? Who didn't want to enter the Heaven Vault? The Demon God Mountain's relationship with Luotian Chuan and Qin Wentian wasn't bad. This was their advantage. Now that the secret has been exposed, that fellow Qin Wentian wouldn't hide anything, right? If Qin Wentian didn't agree, there would be no meaning for their alliance to exist anymore. I have to seek Wentian's opinion on this. Luotian Chuan spoke. The Kuan sovereign nodded. The eyes of the 5 sovereigns were filled with anticipation. If their Demon God Mountain could enter the Heaven Vault to cultivate, they would definitely have a huge advantage in cultivation. In the future, it wouldn't be impossible for the Demon God Mountain to produce 10 demon sovereigns. The experts of the various powers all had different thoughts. But there was one point that was indisputable. Qin Wentian's fame had already spread through the supreme ancient immortal realms. With so many experts blocking the entrance of the Heaven Vault, Qin Wentian naturally wouldn't show himself so easily. He wanted to see how long these people could guard the Heaven Vault for. Even if he wasn't in the Heaven Vault, he could still cultivate there. In fact, no one knew that Qin Wentian had already been to the Boundless Sea region before. It was just that because he disguised his identity, no one could recognize him. As time flowed by, the number of people in the Boundless Sea region decreased by a lot. This was especially so for some powerful heavenly deities. It was impossible for them to stay here forever and wait for Qin Wentian to appear. After Qin Wentian learned of this, he would definitely not show himself so easily. Today, some experts appeared in the Boundless Sea region. They split up into groups and came to the area below the Heaven Vault, mixing into the crowd. Although the number of people in the Boundless Sea region was much lesser compared to before, there were still quite a few of them. It wasn't conspicuous for these groups of people to mix in with the crowd. This was especially so since their cultivation bases weren't high. These people were none other than people from Azure Mystic. After so many years, Qin Wentian saw that the number of experts in the Heaven Vault was much lesser than before. This was why he silently brought them here. Among these people, there were experts from the Battle Saint tribe, Namhuang clan and myriad Devil Islands. Naturally, not everyone was here, only those with higher cultivation bases. Qin Wentian didn't intend to bring everyone here at the same time. If he did that, the commotion would be too great. These people gradually gathered together. After that, a powerful spatial tempest enveloped them. Emichem. Many people frowned as they turned their gazes over. After that, they saw the entire sea region being enveloped by the spatial tempest, instantly descending into the air. At the point where the sea and sky were connected, a slit opened up in the sky. The Heaven Vault was opened. Let's go. Numerous figures soared up into the sky, directly flying into the air. But at this moment, the spatial tempest directly entered the heaven vault. At the same time, a terrifying heavenly might bore down on everyone, obstructing them from moving forward. In just an instant, the heaven vault closed once again. A white-robed figure calmly stood in the air, staring at everyone. Qin Wentian. Everyone stared at the handsome young man before them. Their eyes gleamed with a dazzling light as a few terrifying auras soared up into the sky. All of them were the auras of heavenly deities. Clearly, there were still heavenly deities hiding here. Everyone, do you all have any instructions for me? Qin Wentian stared at everyone below as he calmly spoke. Since the heaven vault has already been exposed, he didn't really care about it. Qin Wentian, since the heaven vault is under your control, you should share it with everyone in the supreme ancient immortal realms. What do you mean by taking it for yourself? A person coldly spoke. This person was a world overlord from a hegemonic power. Qin Wentian calmly glanced at him. He spoke in disdain, do you have the qualifications to speak to me? The eyes of that world overlord stiffened as his expression turned unsightly. A heavenly deity spoke, Qin Wentian, the heaven vault doesn't belong to you alone, right? Do you really dare to monopolize it? I'm the inheritor of the heaven vault. I will naturally be the one to decide who can enter the heaven vault for cultivation. Which power are you from? Qin Wentian calmly asked. Heavenly Deity Mountain. That heavenly deity spoke with cold arrogance. The heavenly deity mountain also belongs to the supreme ancient immortal realms. It is currently occupied by experts from your heavenly deity mountain. How can you all monopolize it? When I bring a group of people over to the heavenly deity mountain for cultivation, will the heavenly deity mountain welcome me as well? Qin Wentian calmly spoke. Twisting words and forcing logic. That heavenly deity from the heavenly deity mountain coldly snorted. However, another heavenly deity spoke, Qin Wentian, the experts of the various powers in the heaven region are all here. If you want to monopolize the heaven vault, it would be equivalent to becoming enemies with everyone in the supreme ancient immortal realms. Are you threatening me? Qin Wentian's eyes were cold as he stared at that heavenly deity. That heavenly deity actually felt a faint pressure when he sensed Qin Wentian's gaze. Chapter 1905. The heavenly deity's expression was cold. It was said that Qin Wentian only managed to verify his Tao 200 years ago when the heaven vault opened. How strong could he be exactly? As a heavenly deity, he naturally had his own pride and prestige. He stared at Qin Wentian and spoke in a cold voice, it's not that I'm threatening you, this is the truth. Right now, everyone in the supreme ancient immortal realms knows that you are the controller of the heaven vault. I want to ask you, how can you monopolize the heaven vault? Do you really think you can fight against the supreme ancient immortal realms? Many experts below stared at Qin Wentian. This was indeed the case. The heaven vault was too extraordinary, everyone in the supreme ancient immortal realms was eyeing it. It was impossible for Qin Wentian to monopolize it. Qin Wentian stared at everyone below. It wasn't impossible for him to allow the experts of the supreme ancient immortal realms to enter together. But the prerequisite was that one day, when he truly had the strength to look down on all hegemonic powers in the supreme ancient immortal realms, he would be willing to open the heaven vault and allow everyone to cultivate there. He would be like that mysterious white-robed expert, already standing at the absolute peak. He naturally hoped that his descendants would be extraordinary as well. But now, it wasn't possible. This wasn't just because of his selfishness, it was also because the hearts of humans were unfathomable. He allowed everyone to enter the heaven vault, but the people of the supreme ancient immortal realms already knew that the heaven vault was controlled by him. How could they not act against him? How could they not seize control of the heaven vault from him? Back then, the supreme ancient immortal realms attacked Azure Mystic and didn't hesitate to destroy an entire world. What was it for? Cultivation resources, authority. Treasures have always been the source of conflict, let alone the control of the heaven vault. This would definitely cause the experts at the peak of the supreme ancient immortal realms to feel killing intent towards him. If he allowed people to enter the heaven vault, it would only be more dangerous for him. Also, there were the Qin clan and Divine Ox clan present. If you obtain a treasure, would you share it with the people of the world? Qin Wentian laughed. He obtained the will of God King Shi, allowing him to control the heaven vault. In that case, everything in the heaven vault, including who he allowed to enter, would naturally be decided by him. He wouldn't be threatened or coerced by others. If one said that the heaven vault belonged to the supreme ancient immortal realms, that would be a joke. Could it be that the treasures you obtained should belong to the people of the world? Qin Wentian, I'm afraid this isn't up to you. Earlier, those people were moved into the heaven vault by you, they should be your kin, right? Since you are already on guard, you clearly understand what the heaven vault means. Have you thought of the consequences if you don't open the entrance? That heavenly deity naturally wouldn't argue with Qin Wentian. He coldly spoke. Qin deity, threatening me like? Qin Wentian suddenly laughed uproariously. In that case, I will wait for the people of the world outside the heaven vault. I want to see what the consequences are. His voice reverberated through the air as he stood above the boundless sea region. The sea breeze blew past, causing his robes to flutter. His robes fluttered in the wind, exuding an unparalleled elegance. As long as he entered the heaven vault, no one would be able to do anything to him. However, he didn't want to enter the heaven vault. He would stand there and see what the people of the world could do. Many people took out messaging crystals and sent messages to the experts of the powers they were in. Qin Wentian's appearance meant that the heaven vault was opened once again. In addition, the news of Qin Wentian sending a group of people into the heaven vault instantly circulated. In Boundless City, which was the closest to the Boundless Sea region, a storm was brewing. More and more experts were rushing towards the heaven vault. For a period of time, a storm was brewing once again. The Qin clan has been sending people to monitor the heaven vault. In Boundless City, there were 2 heavenly deities from the Qin clan guarding it. After they received the news, their expressions turned cold and they directly headed towards the heaven vault. In the Chu residence, Chu Shen called Goddess Nikhang over. He stared at his granddaughter and spoke in a light voice. Earlier, I received news that Wentian has appeared again and is currently in the heaven vault. He sent a group of people into the heaven vault for cultivation. I'm sure you should know about the news in the outside world during these years. Goddess Nikhang nodded lightly. Qin Wentian caused such a huge commotion, it was impossible for her not to know about it. Do you still remember back then when Wentian came to the Chu residence, he once asked you what your thoughts were? Chu Shen suddenly asked. Goddess Nikhang started, but after that, she nodded lightly. He was asking her what her thoughts were regarding the marriage agreement. Maybe back then, he already wanted to say something. Maybe if you said you didn't agree, he might have told you about the heaven vault. However, you didn't express your stance. Chu Shen bitterly smiled. Grandpa knows what you are thinking in your heart. If you don't want to, don't force yourself. This is also your father's wish. Although the heaven vault has become a place coveted by everyone in the supreme ancient immortal realms, it is still very safe inside. I believe other than Wentian, no one else would be able to enter. Goddess Nichang's beautiful eyes flashed. She stared at her grandpa, she naturally understood Chu Shen's thoughts. I'll go to the Boundless Sea region to take a look. Goddess Nikhang spoke in a light voice. Chu Shen smiled and nodded lightly. There was nothing he could do about his granddaughter's personality. She was always so cold to everyone. Most probably, it was because her parents weren't around. With regards to this, Chu Shen also felt some guilt. Goddess Nikhang then departed. Although her back view was beautiful, there was also a hint of loneliness in it. In Boundless City, experts soared through the air unceasingly, moving as fast as lightning. They stood proudly in the air, exuding terrifying auras as they headed towards the boundless sea region. These experts all came here because of the Heaven Vault. Because Qin Wentian hadn't appeared for many years, they left the boundless sea region. However, they still chose to stay in Boundless City to cultivate and wait. Right now, they finally received news of Qin Wentian's appearance. One could say that the vast majority of the peak powers in the supreme ancient immortal realms had left their experts in Boundless City. Because of Qin Wentian's appearance, they all left their cultivation grounds and headed towards the Boundless Sea region. For a period of time, a terrifying aura enveloped the entire ancient city. The aura of heavenly deities could casually be released and it would be able to envelop boundless regions. Let alone when so many heavenly deities appeared at the same time. Other than heavenly deities, there were also many powerful world overlords. The people of Boundless City felt their hearts shaking. If it wasn't for Qin Wentian's appearance, they basically wouldn't be able to imagine that there were so many powerful existences hidden in Boundless City. At the entrance of the Heaven Vault in the Boundless Sea region, more and more experts arrived. The people who arrived earlier weren't in a hurry to do anything to Qin Wentian. Just like the threat from the heavenly deities earlier, the people who coveted the Heaven Vault weren't merely from a single power. The entire supreme ancient immortal realms was involved. If Qin Wentian wanted to monopolize the Heaven Vault, he would have to face the entire supreme ancient immortal realms. If Qin Wentian didn't open the Heaven Vault, there would be many people who wanted to deal with him. Hence, the people who arrived weren't in a hurry. Hence, more and more experts gathered in the airspace above this sea region. Other than people from the various hegemonic powers, there were also many people from Boundless City who came to watch the show. Their gazes were fixed on the white-robed figure in the air. His white robes fluttered in the wind as he stood there with his eyes closed, exuding an incomparably calm demeanor. Many people couldn't help but to silently praise him. At such a time, he was actually able to remain so calm. As expected of a legendary character of the supreme ancient immortal realms. Lin Xiao also arrived. He still followed the mystical maiden, like he had to woo this supreme beauty no matter what. His gaze turned to Qin Wentian who was in the air. Back then in the world of reincarnation, Qin Wentian already had such a demeanor now. Goddess Nikhang also came. Her beautiful eyes stared at the calm figure in the air, there was no expression on her beautiful face. Goddess Nikhang. Her appearance instantly caused a huge commotion. She is currently looking at Qin Wentian. However, there doesn't seem to be any hatred between them. Many people discussed. Back then when Qin Wentian abducted Goddess Nikhang, a huge storm was created. By right, Goddess Nikhang shouldn't be so calm when she saw him. Could it be that something really happened? Many people were waiting, no one seemed to be in a hurry to make things difficult for Qin Wentian. Finally, two heavenly deities from the Qin clan walked out. Their expressions were cold as they spoke. Qin Wentian is extremely ambitious, he actually wants to control the Heaven Vault alone. Everyone, why is there a need to waste time here? Let's directly capture him and force him to reveal the secret of the Heaven Vault. Qin Wentian opened his eyes and stared at the two heavenly deities from the Qin clan. Qin Wentian, why don't you speak for yourself? Are you willing to open the Heaven Vault and allow everyone in the world to cultivate inside? Someone spoke. Qin Wentian didn't reply. When everyone saw this, their expressions turned even colder. Someone spoke, since he isn't willing to express his stance, why is there a need for all of you to waste your breath? Many voices rang out, all of them wanted to capture Qin Wentian and seize the secret of the Heaven Vault. For a period of time, Qin Wentian became the target of everyone. Qin Wentian opened his eyes, sweeping his gaze through the countless experts in the vast sea region. Since he would have to face them sooner or later, he might as well make things clear now. If anyone wants to be his enemy, he would accept them all. Today, I won't hide anything from everyone. The heaven vault was left behind by an ancient expert. Now that it has been inherited by me, this means that the heaven vault now belongs to me. I waited here for everyone to come because I want to tell everyone in the world that the heaven vault belongs to me. I can allow whoever I want to enter. If anyone wants to forcefully threaten me, I, Qin Wentian, will accept them all. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. His gaze swept through the vast sea region. The wind in the air was very strong, causing his long robes to flutter. He stood here, announcing to everyone in the world that the heaven vault belongs to him. He can allow whoever he wants to enter. If anyone wants to threaten him, he would accept them all. Qin Wentian stared at the heavenly deity of the Qin clan. Such shameless words actually sounded so righteous when spoken by this heavenly deity. Could it be that the stronger one's cultivation base was, the thicker their skin would be? I've never been someone from the Qin clan. My father also feels that it's a shame to be born in the Qin clan. As for you all, where did these old fogies come from? How can you be so shameless? Do you still have any face? Qin Wentian mocked. The two heavenly deities from the Qin clan had cold expressions. They released their auras, causing heavenly might to surge as a terrifying might erupted forth in the air. As expected of a vile spawn. Since this is the case, we can only force you back to the Qin clan to be punished. The other heavenly deity spoke in a righteous manner. Forcing Qin Wentian to go back to the Qin clan to be punished. The others wouldn't agree. So it turned out that the purpose of these two heavenly deities was to bring Qin Wentian away. If they obtained Qin Wentian, it would mean that they would obtain the heaven vault. It was impossible for the Qin clan to have such a good plan. However, with the heavenly deities from the Qin clan acting as the vanguard, they didn't mind watching the show first. But it was clearly impossible for them to bring Qin Wentian away so easily. How thick-headed. The Qin clan's heavenly deity coldly spoke. A vertical eye appeared in the center of his brows. This eye was extremely terrifying and demonic, radiating heavenly might. In an instant, the entire space before him was enveloped by this vertical eye, including Qin Wentian's body. Qin Li, the Eye of Judgment. The heavenly deities of the supreme ancient immortal realms were all extremely famous characters. The moment this person acted, even those juniors who have never seen him before knew who he was. Qin Li of the Qin clan. He used the Qin clan's bloodline art to form the heavenly Tao and opened the Eye of Judgment. This eye contained the might of the heavenly Tao and could punish people, depriving them of everything. Qin Wentian felt the might of the Eye of Judgment landing on him. For a moment, his entire body felt a bone-piercing coldness. Was this the same power that deprived his father of everything? Back then, his father was ganged up on by many elders of the Qin clan and many experts participated. He had no idea what sort of pain his father had to endure exactly. But now that he was a heavenly deity, he could faintly sense the power of the Eye of Judgment. Could it be that back then, it was precisely the power of the Eye of Judgment that deprived his father of everything? His father who was ganged up on and heavily injured had his body, blood, and soul stripped away. This heavenly might was extremely terrifying and tyrannical, enveloping a part of the sky. It directly ravaged Qin Wentian's body. But right now, there was only coldness in Qin Wentian's eyes. The other party frowned. The Eye of Judgment descended, capable of punishing everything in the world, stripping everything away. However, Qin Wentian actually stood there steadily. He could sense the existence of a sealing energy within Qin Wentian's body, completely sealing the energy that gushed into his body, preventing his body from being corroded. Qin Wentian took a step out, traversing through space and appeared before Qin Wentian. This distance was simply too short to heavenly deities, let alone Qin Wentian who was proficient in the laws of spacetime. It was just a single step. Qin Wentian glanced at Qin Wentian. In just an instant, Qin Wentian only felt that this gaze created a spacetime that enveloped him. His body directly sank, entering the spacetime created by Qin Wentian's gaze. This was a spacetime that was under his control, incomparably tyrannical. That vertical eye radiated a terrifying light. In the sky, a terrifying eye appeared, locking onto this world. However, to Qin Wentian's shock, he discovered that even the entire sky was sealed within Qin Wentian's spacetime. His Tao was also only manifested within Qin Wentian's spacetime. An ancient character descended with inconceivable speed. It was like a sword of the heavenly Tao. Qin Wentian's gaze was filled with shock. He felt that this sword was too fast, so fast that he couldn't evade it. It wasn't that the sword was fast, but rather, in this spacetime, he was too slow. Spacetime was controlled by Qin Wentian. Speed and slowness could be controlled by him as he pleased. He roared in rage. The eye in the center of his brows shot out with an inconceivable speed. This was like a sword of the heavenly Tao. Qin Wentian's gaze was filled with shock. He felt that this sword was too fast, so fast that he couldn't evade it. It wasn't that the sword was fast, but rather, in this spacetime, he was too slow. Spacetime was controlled by Qin Wentian. Arg! A miserable scream rang out. The eye in the center of Qin Wentian's brows was directly pierced through, causing blood to flow out. He clutched his forehead with both hands, feeling incomparable pain. However, everyone in the surroundings stared at him in shock. Because right now, Qin Wentian didn't seem to be in the same spacetime as them. He was in a spacetime created by Qin Wentian, a spacetime world that was sealed. From today onwards, you will be imprisoned in this sealed world for all eternity, sinking into oblivion. Qin Wentian coldly spoke. With a single glance, that sealed spacetime seemed to vanish completely, as though it had never existed in this world. It was unknown where it was sent to. Qin Wentian also vanished along with it. It wasn't difficult for heavenly deities to create a world. However, Qin Wentian actually sealed that world for all eternity, causing Qin Wentian to sink into oblivion. As long as Qin Wentian couldn't break out of that world, he would never be able to come out. Also, Qin Wentian, who had his forehead pierced through by Qin Wentian's ancient character, clearly had no more strength to break out of the sealed spacetime world created by Qin Wentian. Was a heavenly deity finished just like that? It was like a child's play. Everyone in the world knew that there was a difference in strength in every cultivation realm. The higher one went, the greater the disparity. At the heavenly deity realm, the disparity between different heavenly deities could reach a terrifying level. At this moment, they personally witnessed it. Qin Wentian and Qin Li were both heavenly deities, but the disparity between them wasn't just a little bit. It was absolute suppression. Before Qin Wentian, Qin Li was no different from a world overlord. However, everyone knew that Qin Wentian was a heavenly deity, a powerful heavenly deity. It was unknown how many years it has been since he became a heavenly deity. As for Qin Wentian, it has only been around 200+ years since he became a heavenly deity. However, the strength of a heavenly deity wasn't something that could be determined by time. The other heavenly deity from the Qin clan was named Qin Sang. When he saw the battle that ended in an instant, his countenance turned extremely pale. His strength was roughly on the same level as Qin Li. If he fought against Qin Wentian, the ending could very well be imagined. Qin Yuanfeng's son was already so powerful to such an extent. He involuntarily thought of heaven's son Qin Dangtian. Was Qin Dangtian as strong as him 200 years after he became a heavenly deity? He discovered to his shock that he didn't have any confidence at all. Heaven's son Qin Dangtian's talent was publicly acknowledged by everyone in the Qin clan. In the future, he would definitely surpass Qin Zheng and might even become the strongest king of the Qin clan. However, when he compared Qin Dangtian to Qin Wentian, he didn't have absolute confidence that Qin Dangtian would win. What did this mean? This meant that as long as this rebellious son of the Qin clan was given enough time, he might surpass everyone in the Qin clan. What would the situation be like then? During these years, there have been many rumors regarding me. As a heavenly deity of the Qin clan, you should have heard of them before, right? Qin Wentian stared at Qin Song as he asked. Qin Song's expression was unsightly. He had indeed heard of them before. In that case, have you not heard of the rumor that Qin Zhong's death was caused by me alone? Qin Wentian calmly spoke. Qin Song's countenance turned pale. If Qin Wentian said this back then, he would definitely doubt it. But now, he actually believed it. I can kill a heavenly deity of your Qin clan when I'm at the World Overlord realm. The two of you also want to bring me to the Qin clan. Qin Wentian mocked. The hearts of everyone trembled. Just like Qin Song, at this moment, no one doubted Qin Wentian's words. Back then, Qin Zhong was killed by him alone when he was at the World Overlord realm. Don't worry, I won't kill you nor will I banish you. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. It was like the fate of this heavenly deity before him was already decided by him. No one could doubt him. If he wanted Qin Song to die, Qin Song wouldn't be able to live. The Qin clan still has a heavenly deity from the Luotian clan, right? Just nice, they can use that heavenly deity to exchange for you. You better pray that nothing will happen to him or you will experience the same thing. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. A single sentence from him seemed to have determined his fate, the fate of a heavenly deity from the Qin clan. Chapter 1907. After Qin Song heard Qin Wentian's words, he directly turned and took a step out, soaring through the air. A powerful heavenly deity from the Qin clan actually wanted to flee? This seemed somewhat ironic. Not long ago, Qin Li and Qin Song even said that they wanted Qin Wentian to apologize to the Qin clan and hand over the Heaven Vault to the Qin clan. They wanted to bring Qin Wentian away for punishment. But now, he, a heavenly deity, actually chose to flee without fighting. Although it was ironic, it was also normal. Qin Song and Qin Li's strength weren't too far apart. Qin Wentian could easily banish Qin Li. In that case, it wouldn't be difficult for him to deal with Qin Song as well. How difficult was it to cultivate to the heavenly deity level? He naturally cherished his life even more. Don't you feel that it's too late to leave now? Qin Wentian calmly spoke. A single glance from him seemed to cause time and space to distort. His gaze was extremely terrifying, shooting out beams of heavenly Tao light. With a single glance, the entire space was enveloped by his eyes. Space was twisting and distorting, it felt like the spacetime before him was frenziedly revolving. At this moment, the experts of the Boundless Sea region were all staring at Qin Wentian's eyes. His eyes were like the heavenly Tao, representing the laws of heaven and earth. Qin Song felt the distortions in the spacetime. His expression turned ashen as he punched out, causing the heavens and earth to rumble. His punch seemed to be able to envelop the entire space, but it wasn't able to break through the distorted spacetime. The distorted spacetime rotated in reverse, engulfing his body within. After that, it connected to Qin Wentian's body. If I don't allow you to leave, would you be able to? Qin Wentian arrogantly spoke. Since you want to enter the Heaven Vault so much, I will send you in. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. After that, the distorted spacetime shot up into the sky. A crack appeared in the Heaven Vault as the sealed spacetime was sent into it. Qin Wentian was actually so confident that even a heavenly deity in his peak condition wouldn't be able to break through his sealed spacetime. Is that still a powerful heavenly deity? Many world overlords felt their hearts trembling. The battle they saw today had toppled everything they knew. Powerful heavenly deities were actually like ants being crushed by others, unable to retaliate at all. In truth, they had never seen it before because it was very rare for deity-level battles to erupt in the supreme ancient immortal realms. A battle between heavenly deities would implicate too many people and all the major powers would feel some trepidation. However, between Qin Wentian and the Qin clan, there was basically no way for them to ease up. They were originally mortal enemies, who would care about it? Back then in the Heaven Vault, the Qin clan forced Qin Wentian to enter the god's extinction path. How would Qin Wentian be polite when dealing with a heavenly deity of the Qin clan? Hence, the deity-level battle they saw today was different from what they had imagined. But to those peak characters from the hegemonic powers, other than being shocked by how strong Qin Wentian was, they didn't find it strange that there was such a huge disparity in strength between heavenly deities. However, wasn't Qin Wentian a little too monstrous? It was like he easily dealt with the two heavenly deities of the Qin clan. Most probably, other than the few powerful heavenly deities of the Qin clan, even if the other heavenly deities appeared before him, they wouldn't be able to pose any threat to him. Was this what he relied on to face the people of the world outside the Heaven Vault? His strength was so strong that even ordinary heavenly deities had to look up to him. Qin Wentian still stood in the air above the sea region. The sea breeze continued to caress his body, but the gazes of everyone when they looked at Qin Wentian had already changed. It was no longer as wanton as before, as though they could crush him easily. They truly understood that this handsome young man who stood proudly in the air was able to become famous in the supreme ancient immortal realms. It wasn't a coincidence that he had such strength. He was currently writing a legend that belonged to him. Undoubtedly, in the future, Qin Wentian would surely leave behind a mark in the history of the supreme ancient immortal realms. Countless gazes stared at Qin Wentian, including some familiar faces. Goddess Nikhang also didn't expect that the young man who almost fell into a devil's heart back then in the world of reincarnation would actually be so powerful to such an extent. No wonder the legendary place ultimately chose him. The legendary place of the Tiandao Sacred Academy was like a place where one could see the will of the heavens. Qin Wentian was being stared at by countless gazes, but his expression was as calm as water. The reason why he displayed his strength was because he wanted to intimidate some people. He wanted to prevent others from wanting to fish in troubled waters. If they wanted to force him to open the Heaven Vault, they better be prepared to be enemies with him. Strength was undoubtedly the best method to intimidate others. After this battle, other than the hegemonic powers of the supreme ancient immortal realms, there wouldn't be any other hegemonic powers who dared to have any designs on him. If not, they would simply be overestimating their own capabilities. Is there anyone else who wants to threaten me and wants to enter the Heaven Vault? You can step out now. I might consider sending you into the Heaven Vault. Qin Wentian calmly smiled. Send him into the Heaven Vault. Like Qin Sung. If one's strength was inferior to Qin Wentian, so what if they entered the Heaven Vault? On the contrary, they would be like a turtle trapped in a jar, being toyed with by Qin Wentian. This time around, everyone shut up. Those heavenly deities who were arrogant earlier also tactfully didn't say anything. In such a situation now, if ordinary heavenly deities still dared to threaten Qin Wentian, they would truly not know what's good for them. Qin Wentian clearly wanted to use the advantage of the Heaven Vault and was prepared to fight against the experts of the supreme ancient immortal realms. It was fine if his strength wasn't strong, they could still suppress him. But it just so happened that Qin Wentian's strength was sufficient to destroy all of them. Who would dare to step forward? Were they tired of living? Why? Earlier, weren't there many people who threatened me? Now, all of you have shut up. Qin Wentian mockingly laughed. After that, he waved his hand and in an instant, a hole appeared in the sky. This was none other than the Heaven Vault. Who wishes to enter? Qin Wentian calmly asked. If there is someone who wishes to enter, I might not obstruct you. The Heaven Vault was opened just like that. As long as someone was willing, they would be able to enter. But not long ago, they were still frantically wanting to enter. Now that the Heaven Vault was opened up, no one dared to express their thoughts. If they entered the Heaven Vault, how could they fight against Qin Wentian? Wouldn't that mean that Qin Wentian could do whatever he wanted to them? Is there no one? Qin Wentian smiled as he asked. Me. At this moment, a voice rang out. After that, a person soared through the air and flew over. He was dressed simply and stood there, resembling an extremely sharp sword. He stared at Qin Wentian. If you agree, I do wish to enter the heaven vault to cultivate. Qin Wentian stared at the person who came and smiled. Since senior is interested, junior will naturally welcome you. Please. He had seen this person before, but this was the first time he spoke to him. This person was none other than the sword monarch, Jian Junlai. Jian Junlai nodded lightly to Qin Wentian. After that, his silhouette flashed as he transformed into a beam of sword light and directly entered the heaven vault. In front of the eyes of everyone, he actually entered the heaven vault. I didn't allow you guys to enter, but you guys wanted to threaten me. But when I allowed you guys to enter, no one entered. How ridiculous. Qin Wentian mockingly laughed. His silhouette flashed as he directly entered the heaven vault. After he entered, the heaven vault closed once more. Qin Wentian's voice still echoed through the air. Some people had ugly expressions on their faces while others spoke in a depressed tone. Yeah, Qin Wentian said earlier that he can allow anyone he wants to enter. Before this, he allowed people to enter. Why didn't I enter like the sword monarch? I missed my chance. Lin Xiao smacked his head as he spoke in a depressed tone. Who said that entering the heaven vault meant becoming enemies with Qin Wentian? That was because there were people who threatened Qin Wentian earlier. This was why he acted so domineeringly. But if he took the initiative to invite people and didn't have any ulterior motives in his heart, there shouldn't be any problems for him to enter the heaven vault, right? Could it be that Qin Wentian would really kill those who entered the heaven vault? After thinking it through, many people felt regret, like they missed out on something. However, there were also some who snorted disdainfully. Maybe, Qin Wentian didn't obstruct Qin Wentian because he saw Jian Junlai. If it was someone else, who could guarantee that Qin Wentian would allow them to enter? That might not be the case. When they thought of this, many people felt relieved. However, the experts gathered here all felt like they were being toyed around in the palm of Qin Wentian's hands. There were so many experts here, but they couldn't do anything to a newly ascended heavenly deity. In fact, even if he opened the heaven vault, no one dared to enter. How ironic was this? The battle at the Boundless Sea region was like Qin Wentian's fame, it circulated through the supreme ancient immortal realms. The son of the traitor of the Qin clan, Qin Yuanfeng, was now so powerful that he dared to challenge the Qin clan, easily dealing with two heavenly deities of the Qin clan. One of them was exiled by Qin Wentian and the other was trapped in the heaven vault, never to come out again. After that, a voice rang out from the heaven vault, telling the Qin clan to bring the heavenly deities of the Luotian clan and the 10 world overlords to exchange for them. After the Qin clan received this news, they were all enraged. In addition to Qin Li and Qin Song, the Qin clan had already lost 4 heavenly deities ever since the heaven vault opened. 2 died in the god's extinction path, 1 died in the hands of Qin Tiangang and 1 died in the terrifying god's extinction path. Right now, Qin Li was imprisoned forever and Qin Song was in the hands of Qin Wentian. Although the Qin clan was one of the 3 hegemonic powers in the heaven region and had many heavenly deities, 4 heavenly deities were sufficient to cause the Qin clan to suffer a huge blow. Also, this didn't include Qin Zhong who died in the desolate region. Including Qin Zhong, there were 5 heavenly deities in total. The irony was that the deaths of 5 heavenly deities were all related to a single person, Qin Wentian. One was once humiliated and ignored by Qin Dangtian, the son of the traitor of the Qin clan, causing the powerful Qin clan to lose face time and time again, losing heavenly deities. Unknowingly, there were already 5 heavenly deities who died in the hands of Qin Wentian. Thinking about it, it was extremely terrifying. Boundless City once again attracted the attention of the supreme ancient immortal realms. Countless experts rushed here, including heavenly deities from the various hegemonic powers. They were prepared to have a good chat with Qin Wentian. Since Qin Wentian could allow Jian Junlai to enter the heaven vault, why couldn't he allow them to enter? The commotion in the outside world seemed to have nothing to do with Qin Wentian. He was currently cultivating in the heaven vault. Naturally, there were a few people currently transmitting their voices to him. Back then, I could already tell that you would definitely be able to stand proudly at the top of the supreme ancient immortal realms in the future. Hence, I decided to befriend you and treat you to wine. Seems like my judgment is truly accurate, I can't help but be impressed. Brother Qin, now that your name has spread through the supreme ancient immortal realms, have you forgotten the brothers who went through thick and thin together with you? The four of us are now together and are preparing to seek refuge with you. 10 Mile Springwind's voice rang out in Qin Wentian's mind. This fellow was still as shameless as before. Bring some good wine over. However, don't blame me for not reminding you guys. You guys entered the heaven vault with the identity of my friends. This news will spread out sooner or later. In the future, in the outside world. Qin Wentian stopped here. 10 Mile Springwind naturally understood. Qin Wentian's possession of the heaven vault meant that he had offended all the hegemonic powers in the supreme ancient immortal realms. It was true that they could cultivate in the heaven vault if they recognized him as a friend. Can it be that we are not friends? Don't tell me that you don't want to recognize us anymore after becoming a heavenly deity. 10 Mile Springwind jokingly spoke. Qin Wentian smiled. If his friends wanted to come, he would naturally welcome them. Chapter 1908. Outside the heaven vault, the experts in Boundless City were as many as the clouds. Qin Zheng and Qin Dangtian of the Qin clan personally arrived, but by the time they rushed over, the heaven vault had already closed. They could only stay in Boundless City to plan on how to deal with Qin Wentian. Right now, their Qin clan still had a heavenly deity, Qin Song, in Qin Wentian's hands. But as long as Qin Wentian hid in the heaven vault and didn't come out, they wouldn't be able to enter. The entrance to the heaven vault, other than Qin Wentian, no one else would be able to open it. Qin Wentian's current strength also caused Qin Zheng to feel a trace of threat. If this continued, Qin Wentian might really threaten their Qin clan. They had to find an opportunity to eliminate Qin Wentian. But inside the heaven vault, the scene was completely different. Back then, the friends Qin Wentian befriended when he attended the convention, 10 Mile Springwind, Old Ghost, Phoenix, Chao Tian, all came to the heaven vault. Many people personally saw them entering, but the instant the heaven vault closed, no one dared to enter recklessly. Qin Wentian's strength was clear for all to see, he was a huge deterrent. Within the heaven vault, in the starry space, a group of figures sat in the air. There was a stone platform in the center and the fragrance of wine permeated the air. Naturally, this wine was brought here by 10 Mile Springwind. At this moment, Chao Tian took out his messaging crystal and seemed to be busy with something. Chao Tian, it's so hard for us to reunite. Why are you so busy? 10 Mile Springwind asked. I can only say that the heaven vault is too famous. The moment we entered, the news instantly circulated out. The people of my clan are all asking about it. Chao Tian spoke. When did you receive the favor of your clan? 10 Mile Springwind laughed. Chao Tian kept his messaging crystal and spoke, ignore them, it'll affect my mood. Let's drink. Reality. Phoenix laughed. Chao Tian, you should be feeling proud and elated. You, who were previously disliked, have probably become a popular figure in the Scarlet Sun sky. 10 Mile Springwind continued to tease Chao Tian. After that, his gaze turned to Qin Wentian. Although I already knew that Qin Wentian would definitely be extraordinary in the future, I didn't expect it to be so fast. Heavenly deities can't even withstand a single strike from you. Qin Sung of the Qin clan should still be trapped by you, right? I didn't expect it, just like how I didn't expect Junlai to become the Sword Monarch in a single leap. The affairs of the world are unpredictable, isn't that the case? Old Ghost raised his head and drank his wine. Not only were they present, the sword monarch Jian Junlai was also seated at the side. So it turned out that the reason why Old Ghost was so familiar with Jian Junlai was because he was acquainted with Jian Junlai. Back then when they participated in the convention together, they were already friends. After that, Jian Junlai became a character whose name shook the entire mystic region. He was given the title of the Sword Monarch, the #1 sword in the mystic region. Old Ghost, you really can serve as a foil. Phoenix teased. They were also somewhat taken aback. Old Ghost was actually acquainted with Jian Junlai and their relationship was very good. Many years ago when he participated in the convention, he served as a foil for Jian Junlai. Now, he served as a foil for Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian's fame today was only stronger and not weaker compared to Jian Junlai back then. Jian Junlai caused a storm in the mystic region while Qin Wentian caused a storm in the supreme ancient immortal realms. This can also be considered fate. During the two conventions that Old Ghost participated in, the time monument appeared both times. Qin Wentian and I both received the guidance of the Time King and now, we finally have a chance to sit together. Jian Junlai spoke. He didn't speak much and right now, the sharpness radiating from him had already vanished. In fact, he exuded a scholarly aura, no longer exuding a tyrannical aura. For fate, cheers. Qin Wentian raised his cup and smiled. Everyone drank together. At this moment, a voice rang out in Qin Wentian's mind. His eyes flashed and he took out his messaging crystal and sent a strand of his divine sense into it. What's wrong? 10 Miles Springwind asked. My grandfather is here and will be arriving at the Heaven Vault soon. I'll go and receive him. Qin Wentian spoke. Everyone nodded. Qin Wentian's grandfather, the original clan leader of the Luotian clan, Luotian Chuan. Back then when Qin Wentian's name circulated around the mystic region, 10 Miles Springwind and the others were all shocked. He was actually the son of Qin Yuanfeng and Luotian Qinxue. Qin Wentian's silhouette flashed as he left this place. At the same time, in the airspace above the boundless sea region, a terrifying gigantic bird soared through the air. This bird had a wingspan of 1,000,000 miles and with a single flap of its wings, a violent hurricane would be formed, causing the surface of the sea to churn violently. Its speed was extremely fast, traversing boundless regions with a single flash. This gigantic bird was a Kuan rock. In just a few breaths of time, it arrived at the location of the Heaven Vault. When the experts in the surroundings saw the appearance of the Kuan rock, many heavenly deities had a dazzling light in their eyes. Kuan Sovereign. The Kuan Sovereign of the Demon God Mountain has also come to the Heaven Vault. Who is on his back? The eyes of everyone gleamed with sharpness. The Kuan Sovereign was one of the 5 demon sovereigns of the Demon God Mountain. On his back, there seemed to be someone beneath the gigantic feathers. There seems to be quite a few people. The eyes of everyone gleamed with sharpness. The Kuan Sovereign had transformed into a Kuan rock. How gigantic was his body? Each of his feathers was larger than humans and could easily hide people within them. At this moment, there seemed to be a human silhouette within the feathers on his back. Luotian Chuan. The eyes of some people narrowed. They actually saw Luotian Chuan standing within the feathers on the back of the Kuan Sovereign. However, compared to the gigantic body of the Kuan Sovereign, Luotian Chuan seemed extremely small. But even so, he couldn't escape the detection of the divine sense. When they thought of the relationship between Luotian Chuan and Qin Wentian, their gazes froze as a thought appeared in their minds. The Kuan Sovereign came here for the Heaven Vault and Luotian Chuan was traveling with him. Clearly, the Heaven Vault was about to open soon. Their divine senses swept out, wanting to see clearly who the others were. However, the Kuan rock was known as the Sovereign of the Sky. His speed was incomparably fast, like lightning, he directly soared up into the sky. A crack appeared in the sky, it was none other than the opening of the heaven vault. After that, the gigantic body of the Kun rock directly entered it, and in the next instant, the crack in the sky gradually closed. I seem to have seen many people. There are many people hiding on the back of the Kun sovereign. Someone exclaimed in shock. In the desolate region, Luotian Chuan once joined forces with the demon god mountain to deal with the divine Ox clan. Seems like because of this relationship, Qin Wentian allowed the people of the demon god mountain to enter the heaven vault for cultivation. Everyone soon guessed some things. In addition to the voices from the desolate region, they immediately guessed that there were probably many people hiding on the back of the Kun sovereign. It was just that the Kun sovereign's speed was simply too fast, so fast that the vision of others couldn't catch up to him. Their divine senses only swept out for a moment before the Kun sovereign vanished. Within the heaven vault, the body of the Kun sovereign continued moving forward, arriving at the ancient pathway in the starry space. Before him, Qin Wentian's figure appeared. After that, the Kun sovereign spread his wings, each of his feathers unfurled, and in the next instant, numerous figures walked out from his wings. Just like what the people outside guessed, there were over 1,000 people who came here. The heaven-devouring demon sovereign also walked out, as well as the other 3 demon sovereigns. The 5 demon sovereigns of the demon god mountain appeared together. Other than them, there were also many people around the Luotian clan. They stared at the young man before them as emotions filled their hearts. They were all people from the Luotian clan and were willing to follow Luotian Chuan. Now, they accompanied the Kun sovereign to the heaven vault. Once, the young man whom the Luotian clan didn't really like was the controller of the heaven vault. The entire supreme ancient immortal realms wanted to obtain it, and he was already a heavenly deity. Ordinary heavenly deities couldn't even withstand a single strike from him. He captured Qin Song of the Qin clan and made the Qin clan use the heavenly deities of their Luotian clan to exchange for Qin Song, wanting to cleanse the humiliation of the past for their Luotian clan. When they thought of how the Luotian clan treated him back then, many people in the Luotian clan felt guilt in their hearts. This was simply too shameful. This was also the reason why they were determined to follow Luotian Chuan. Seniors, I trust you have been well since we last met. Qin Wentian smiled. Brat, you are already so strong now. Why are you still addressing us as seniors? The demonic eyes of the heaven-devouring demon sovereign stared at Qin Wentian. He didn't expect that in just a few hundred years, Qin Wentian would have such accomplishments today. His talent was simply too shocking. Qin Wentian smiled. I am a senior, it's only right for me to address you as such. Now that all of you have come to the heaven vault, you can cultivate freely in this boundless starry space. In fact, all of you can choose some demon-attributed constellations and treat them as your demon god mountain. Treating a single constellation as a demon god mountain. The heaven-devouring demon sovereign mumbled. After that, he laughed uproariously, how tyrannical. In the supreme ancient immortal realms, there shouldn't be any other peak powers as grand as you, right? In this boundless starry space, it's fine even if Senior wants more constellations. Qin Wentian laughed. Grand. The Kun sovereign calmly spoke. He glanced at the constellations in the air. However, Qin Wentian did have the qualifications to be grand. The heaven vault was under his control. The 9 heavenly layers and the countless constellations in the 9 heavenly layers could all be transformed into cultivation grounds. In the entire supreme ancient immortal realms, there wouldn't be a second person who could be as grand as him. Awesome. The dragon sovereign laughed. I'm preparing to choose a demonic dragon-type constellation to nurture my demonic dragon bloodline. Haha. In that case, I will choose a rock-type constellation. The Kun sovereign laughed. What about me? The heaven-devouring demon sovereign glared in anger. Fine, little rascal, and I will occupy a constellation each. Everyone laughed. Who asked heaven-devouring beasts to be so rare? Seniors, please. Qin Wentian spoke. Everyone nodded and stepped onto the ancient pathway. Qin Wentian followed behind the experts, staring at the boundless starry space. Right now, the number of people in the heaven vault gradually increased. In the future, this ancient pathway could be used to create homes for the demon god mountain and the Luotian clan. There would definitely be a day when the power of the heaven vault would be able to contend against the supreme ancient immortal realms. He believed that as long as he had enough time, the power of the heaven vault would be able to contend against the supreme ancient immortal realms. Chapter 1909. In an inn in Boundless City, at this moment, the area around the inn was under control. There were many experts guarding the surroundings, and the cultivation bases of these guards were all terrifyingly powerful. All of them were world overlords with no exceptions. Also, they were dressed in different attires. They were all world overlords from different powers. But at this moment, they only had the qualifications to stand guard outside. At a place extremely far away from the inn, there were many experts spectating, wanting to know what would happen in the inn. Because, they knew what statuses the people sitting in the inn right now had. Just a few words from them could cause the entire supreme ancient immortal realms to tremble. Today, the Qin clan leader, Qin Zheng, invited the experts of the various hegemonic powers here. This wasn't a secret and the news had long circulated around Boundless City. As for why they were talking, everyone could guess. Naturally, it was because of the heaven vault. At this moment, everyone in the inn was a hegemonic character of a region. Ordinary heavenly deities could only stand. As for those seated here, there were the Qin clan leader Qin Zheng, the Qiankuan sect leader, the Nine Heavens mystical maiden, the Che clan leader, the Thunder clan leader, the Five Elements sect leader, the poison god of the God Extermination Palace. Any one of them was a hegemonic character in the supreme ancient immortal realms. Most probably, only someone with Qin Zheng's status would be able to invite them here. Ordinary heavenly deities wouldn't have such weight. I'm sure everyone has already guessed the reason why I invited all of you here today. The Heaven Vault is the most suitable secret realm for cultivation in the supreme ancient immortal realms. It is connected to the 9 heavenly layers and one would be able to comprehend the Tao on the constellations there. I believe that since all of you have come to Boundless City, everyone would be interested in the Heaven Vault, right? Qin Zheng spoke. Qin Zheng, just tell us your purpose directly. There's no need for such empty words. The Qiankuan sect leader calmly spoke. They weren't here to listen to Qin Zheng's nonsense. What did he want to do by gathering them here exactly? Right. Qin Zheng nodded. For a secret realm like the Heaven Vault, all powers would want it. It would be extremely difficult for anyone to monopolize it. Hence, we can only control it together. This way, we would be able to control the situation in the supreme ancient immortal realms. Everyone naturally understood that with the Heaven Vault, they would be able to create heavenly deities in the future. They would be able to control the supreme ancient immortal realms for all eternity. Naturally, this was unless they fought amongst themselves. Right now, the Heaven Vault is still in the hands of the traitor of your Qin clan. He is hiding inside and not coming out. In addition, he even gathered experts from the Luotian clan and Demon God Mountain to hide in there for tens of thousands of years. What can you do? What's the point of discussing the ownership of the Heaven Vault now? The Che clan leader calmly spoke. Everyone stared at Qin Zheng. Since he gathered everyone here, it meant that he already had a plan. Qin Wentian wants our Qin clan to use the people from the Luotian clan to exchange for Qin Sang. If we want to exchange, the Heaven Vault would definitely open. Qin Zheng spoke. The eyes of everyone flashed. Indeed, this matter has already been circulated. Qin Sang was captured alive because he wanted to exchange hostages with the Qin clan. Given everyone's capabilities, if they are prepared, even if the Heaven Vault only opens for an instant, it should be sufficient for them to enter. Qin Zheng spoke. At that time, as long as all of us enter the heaven vault together and send half of our experts outside, how can Qin Wentian escape? The eyes of everyone flashed with a strange light. Qin Zheng's words could be considered a plan. This matter might not succeed if the Qin clan acted alone. After all, Qin Wentian himself was already very strong and there were heavenly deities from the Luotian clan. In addition, the 5 demon sovereigns were also in the heaven vault. Who knew if they would act on behalf of Qin Wentian or not? In that case, the various hegemonic powers had to join forces before they would have a chance to seize the heaven vault. The peak experts of the supreme ancient immortal realms were discussing how to seize the heaven vault. Over at Qin Wentian's side, it was as though he was isolated from the world. He had no idea what was happening in the outside world. At this moment, Qin Wentian, who was cultivating, suddenly received a voice transmission from Chu Shen. He couldn't help but take out his messaging crystal and ask, "Grandpa Chu Wentian, not long ago, Qin Zheng gathered the experts from the various hegemonic powers in a certain inn. I guess that this gathering is targeted at you. You have to be careful." Chu Shen reminded. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. They are here. As expected, the hegemonic powers of the supreme ancient immortal realms naturally wouldn't let this matter rest. "Many thanks, Grandpa Chu." Qin Wentian spoke with gratitude. "Grandpa Chu, are you and Nick Hang coming to the heaven vault for cultivation?" Actually, Qin Wentian had always wanted to say this, but it wasn't convenient for him to do so. Chu Shen was a heavenly deity-level expert and naturally had his own pride. Goddess Nick Hang was the #1 beauty of the heaven region. He wanted them to enter the heaven vault because he wanted them to avoid the marriage. Although he didn't wish for Goddess Nick Hang to be together with him, he didn't have the qualifications to interfere. Also, if he wanted Chu Shen and Goddess Nick Hang to hide in the heaven vault to avoid the marriage, his reputation wouldn't be too good. This was especially so since there were rumors about him and Goddess Nick Hang in the immortal realms. Hence, he had been hesitating. Qin Wentian naturally understood what Chu Shen was thinking in his heart. If Chu Shen wanted to form a marriage alliance with the Qin clan, why would Chu Shen inform him? Hence, Qin Wentian took the opportunity to invite Chu Shen. "I'll ask for Nichang's opinion." Chu Shen smiled and replied. After so many years, his pride has long been ground away. Right now, he only hoped that his granddaughter could live a good life. Hence, as long as Nick Hang was willing, he wouldn't care about his old face. Hence, he didn't feel anything about Qin Wentian's invitation. He didn't feel that Qin Wentian had seen through him. Chu Shen found Goddess Nick Hang. His gaze was gentle as he spoke in a light voice. "Nick Hang, Wentian is inviting us to enter the heaven vault to cultivate. What do you think?" Goddess Nick Hang inclined her head, her beautiful eyes staring at her grandfather. She naturally understood the meaning behind this invitation. After a moment of silence, she seemed to be contemplating. After a long time, she shook her head lightly. "Nick Hang, can you tell Grandpa your thoughts?" Chu Shen stared at his granddaughter. He knew that back then when Qin Wentian brought back his son, his granddaughter's heart had already wavered. Right now, Qin Wentian issued an invitation. He really didn't know what she was thinking about. "What qualifications do I have to enter the heaven vault?" Goddess Nick Hang calmly spoke. After that, she turned and spoke, "Grandpa, I'm going to cultivate." Chu Shen started. He stared at the back view of his granddaughter before he bitterly smiled, feeling somewhat speechless. That's right, he could ignore his old face. But his granddaughter had extraordinary talent and was also known as the #1 beauty in the heaven region. She also had her own pride. What qualifications does she have to enter the heaven vault? Breaking the engagement and seeking protection from Qin Wentian? How would the people of the world view her? Qin Wentian and Goddess Nick Hang had no relationship at all. There were only bad rumors circulating around in the immortal realms. In such a situation, Goddess Nick Hang actually evaded the marriage and entered the heaven vault. It was unknown how many people would slander her reputation. Naturally, maybe goddess Nikhang didn't care about the words of the people of the world. But what reason does she have to enter the heaven vault? Chu Shen had no way to refute that question. Taking out his messaging crystal, Chu Shen directly replied to Qin Wentian, "Wentian, Nikhang said, what qualifications does she have to enter the heaven vault?" Qin Wentian bitterly smiled when he heard this. This was also the reason why he didn't invite Chu Shen earlier. "Grandpa Chu, if you encounter any trouble, you must remember to tell me." Qin Wentian spoke. He would always remember the kindness of the Chu clan. "Right." Chu Shen smiled. At the Boundless Sea region, the experts from the various hegemonic powers arrived at the heaven vault. Qin Zheng led the Qin clan's experts to suppress the heavenly deity of the Luotian clan, Luotian Han, as well as the 10 world overlords of the Luotian clan. Qin Dangtian also came. His eyes were extremely cold as he stared at the sky. Right now, the grudge between him and Qin Wentian was no longer a grudge from the previous generations. Back then in the Tiandao Sacred Academy, he couldn't be bothered with Qin Wentian. But now, he actually dared to challenge the Qin clan. "I've already returned your messaging crystal to you. Now, you can inform Luotian Chuan and tell him to inform Qin Wentian that we have a replacement." Qin Zheng coldly spoke to Luotian Han. He had no way to directly transmit the message to the heaven vault. Hence, he needed to inform Luotian Han to inform Luotian Chuan. Luotian Han took out his messaging crystal and sent a message to Luotian Chuan. He had suffered all sorts of humiliation in the Qin clan. Now, he finally saw hope. It was just that he didn't expect that the new clan leader, Luotian Mu, would abandon him. The person who saved him now was actually Qin Wentian, who was abandoned by the Luotian clan. When Qin Zhong went to deal with Qin Wentian, the Luotian clan actually watched from the sidelines. This matter was simply shameful when he thought about it now. Luotian Chuan and Qin Wentian, who were in the heaven vault, soon received the news. They immediately rushed towards the entrance of the heaven vault. Naturally, Qin Wentian, who had already received Chu Shen's warning, knew that this was clearly a plot by Qin Zheng against him. The entrance of the heaven vault was completely sealed. However, when Qin Wentian willed his will, he could see the scene outside the heaven vault. In his vision, there were many experts in the sea region, and there were even some familiar faces. These were hegemonic characters from the supreme ancient immortal realms. For example, the Qiankuan sect leader and the 9 heavens mystical maiden. They were simply too outstanding. Qin Wentian could recognize them with a single glance. With a wave of his divine sense, the scene outside the heaven vault transformed into a screen of light, appearing before the eyes of the people around him. Qin Zheng gathered the experts from the various hegemonic powers and brought people here for a trade. "Grandfather, they want to act against the heaven vault." Qin Wentian spoke. "They have indeed brought Luotian Han here, and they came prepared." "Wentian, what do you think we should do?" Luotian Chuan asked. Unknowingly, Qin Wentian's status in the hearts of everyone had already changed. Right now, even Luotian Chuan was asking him what they should do. If this was in the past, it would be absolutely impossible. "Tell Grandpa Han to tell him to tell Qin Zheng that we will only agree to the trade if there are people from the Qin clan in the heaven vault." Qin Wentian spoke. Luotian Chuan passed the news to Luotian Han and passed it to Qin Zheng. After Qin Zheng learned of Qin Wentian's words, his expression turned cold as he stared at the space in the air. This fellow was truly cautious. Could it be that he could even see the situation outside the heaven vault? Was this a sealed space or not? If Qin Zheng really wanted to do such a despicable thing, he had no way to resist. Because right now, Qin Zheng wasn't the only one who wanted to deal with him. The people from the supreme ancient immortal realms were all here, staring at the heaven vault. The moment he exited, what awaited him wouldn't be as simple as the Qin clan. The Che clan is the #1 weaponsmith power in the supreme ancient immortal realms, and they are extremely proficient in formations. I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem for the Che clan to inscribe a divine formation in the Heaven Vault. Also, the God Extermination Palace can transform the area outside the Heaven Vault into a poison god realm. Anyone who gets close will die. From now on, as long as someone exits the Heaven Vault, that person would die. Since they don't want to come out, let's see how long they can stay here. Qin Jing coldly spoke. Clearly, the gathering this time wasn't just to discuss a plan. If the plan failed, they still had other methods. These words soon entered Qin Wentian's ears. His expression grew heavier and heavier, cold to the extreme. They wanted to force him out. They wanted the Che clan to inscribe a divine formation and the God Extermination Palace to create a poison god realm, sealing the Heaven Vault. At the same time, they wanted to deal with the Luotian clan, Qingqing realm and Azure Mystic outside. By doing so, would Qin Wentian be able to come out or not? These lofty heavenly deities, in order to deal with Qin Wentian, were already willing to use all sorts of methods. However, at this moment, no one would blame Qin Jing. The people from the various hegemonic powers all wanted to enter the Heaven Vault. But to many people, this was merely an extravagant hope. Even if the Heaven Vault opened and was controlled by Qin Jing and the others, it would belong to the peak powers. They naturally wouldn't allow those weaker powers to enter. In fact, after they gained control of the Heaven Vault, there would surely be internal strife. Within the Heaven Vault, Jian Junlai calmly spoke, I didn't expect Qin Jing to actually be able to say such words. Although Qin Wentian was the Qingqing Realm Lord, it could be said that the Qingqing Realm Lord didn't have much of a relationship with him. The people there were merely mortals of his realm, they had no ties with him. Qin Jing actually used them to threaten Qin Wentian. From this, one could see how despicable he was. This would definitely cause people to look down on him. But at this moment, no one from the hegemonic powers would blame Qin Jing. Their calm gazes seemed to be saying that this was how things should be. Since he still refuses to come out, let's invite the Che clan and God Extermination Palace to act. Qin Jing calmly spoke. Several heavenly deities from the Che clan and God Extermination Palace walked out, exuding terrifying auras. They started to inscribe divine formations at the entrance of the Heaven Vault while the people from the God Extermination Palace created a poison god realm, enveloping the entire space. In the future, if Qin Wentian wanted to come out or bring people in from the outside, it would be nothing but a fool's dream. The expressions of the people in the Heaven Vault all changed. This not only affected Qin Wentian, it affected everyone who was cultivating in the Heaven Vault. In the future, they would also have to face the divine formations and the God Extermination Palace's poisoned God Extermination Palace. This bunch of bastards. The 5 demon sovereigns all had heavy expressions when they saw the scene outside. Demonic chi gushed forth from them. I heard that the 5 demon sovereigns of the Demon God Mountain are all in the Heaven Vault. If they are willing to act against Qin Wentian, we might have a chance to capture him. At this moment, the Ox chieftain of the Divine Ox clan suddenly spoke. The eyes of everyone flashed as they stared at him. Their hearts were as clear as a mirror. Who in the immortal realms didn't know about the conflict between the Divine Ox clan, the Luotian clan and the Demon God Mountain? Right now, the Ox chieftain was trying to sow discord. Qin Jing also understood the intentions of the Ox chieftain, but he still nodded. He then spoke to Luo Shenhan who was beside him, tell the 5 demon sovereigns of the Demon God Mountain that the Demon God Mountain is in cahoots with Qin Wentian and wants to occupy the Heaven Vault. Do they not want the Demon God Mountain anymore? This sentence was clearly a threat. When the 5 demon sovereigns heard this from Luo Shenchuan, their demonic chi gushed forth frenziedly. Even they were implicated by Qin Jing. How could this be? There were countless demonic beasts on the Demon God Mountain. It was impossible for the Kun sovereign to bring all of them here in one go. This batch of demonic cultivators from the demon god mountain were all extremely strong and had extremely high talent. However, the demon god mountain was still their base. Before this, they weren't afraid of the Divine Ox clan because the 5 demon sovereigns weren't present. If the Divine Ox clan dared to act against the demon god mountain, they would naturally be waiting for revenge. But now, the Ox chieftain of the Divine Ox clan wanted to sow discord, causing Qin Jing to threaten them. In the outside world, the experts from the Che clan were still inscribing the formation. The heavenly deities of the Great Tao worked together to create the divine formation. Gradually, an incomparably resplendent screen of light appeared, locking down the entire space. The multicolored light radiating from the screen seemed to be able to destroy all existences. It felt like as long as the heaven vault opened, the light from the divine formation would be able to enter and kill those who wanted to exit. How terrifying! Everyone inclined their heads and stared at the sky. This divine formation spanned tens of thousands of miles and was parallel to the heavens. The light flowing around the divine formation was so terrifying, exuding a world-destroying might. In addition, the Che clan didn't stop their actions. They were still perfecting the formation. The people they wanted to deal with weren't ordinary characters, they were heavenly deities. Qin Wentian, Luotian Chuan and the others were all extremely powerful. The people from the God Extermination Palace weren't idle either. Their poison qi gradually took form, enveloping the heaven vault and completely sealing it. They wanted those who entered the heaven vault to fall into despair. Since they were unwilling to exit, they would make them die the moment they exited the heaven vault. Che clan, God Extermination Palace. Qin Wentian's expression was cold. He personally witnessed everything. He saw the 2 hegemonic powers inscribing the divine formation to create the poison world. He would remember this debt of gratitude. He once said that he would accept anyone who wanted to seize the heaven vault. Now, the Che clan and God Extermination Palace have already responded to the Qin clan and took the initiative to act. In that case, he, Qin Wentian, would naturally accept it. Elder brother, what should we do now? In the heaven vault, Luo Shenlei asked. The current situation was extremely bad. If the other party only inscribed a divine formation to seal the heaven vault, things would still be fine. But they even used the Luotian clan, Qingqing realm and Azure Mystic to threaten them. In this case, they were in a dilemma. If they wanted to cultivate for many years in the heaven vault before exiting, many people outside would surely die. Since Qin Jing threw away his face and said such words, he would definitely achieve his goal. If Qin Wentian didn't appear, he would definitely act. Let's go out. Qin Wentian spoke. We have to think of a way out. Luotian Chuan nodded lightly. This was also his thoughts. He couldn't watch on as the Luotian clan was destroyed. As for Qin Wentian, he was worried about the Azure Mystic Immortal realms. Although the Azure Mystic Immortal realms were still sealed, what if Qin Jing and the others really went against the rules? After all, this time around, the hegemonic powers of the supreme ancient immortal realms joined forces for the sake of the heaven vault. There are so many experts outside. They are all waiting for elder brother to exit. Luo Shenlei's beautiful eyes flashed with worry. Should he exit? Why did Qin Jing give up his face as a heavenly deity and use the lives of innocent people to threaten Qin Wentian? His purpose was to force Qin Wentian out. If Qin Wentian could exit the heaven vault, Qin Jing's goal would have been achieved. Hence, we have to think of a solution. Once we exit the heaven vault, we can leave immediately. They won't be able to catch up to us. Qin Wentian spoke. However, the people outside were all powerful heavenly deities. It was easier said than done if they wanted to do this. Chapter 1911. Although it was very difficult, when the sound of Qin Wentian's voice faded, several gazes turned to a certain figure. Qin Wentian seemed to have sensed something and also glanced over. After that, his gaze landed on the Kun sovereign. The true form of the Kun sovereign was a Kunpeng. He was also known as the Lord of the Sky. Are you sure you want to go out? The heaven-devouring demon sovereign spoke, his tone cold. Qin Zheng actually dragged his demon god mountain into this as well, threatening him together. This was simply ridiculous. Qin Wentian glanced at Luotian Chuan. Before this, he didn't expect Qin Zheng to do this. Because of Qin Zheng's threat, he could ignore it. The Luotian clan once abandoned him, allowing Qin Zheng to hunt him down. Luotian Mu was their leader and they basically didn't acknowledge him as a descendant of the Luotian clan. Since this was the case, he could completely disregard their bloodline. As for the Qinqing realm, it had nothing to do with him. If he wanted to use the Qinqing realm to threaten him, given how vast the Qin clan was, how could they threaten the Qin clan? Qin Zheng's threat was because he couldn't think of any other solution. Hence, as long as there was a connection to him, he would use it to threaten him. This basically didn't seem like something a heavenly deity would do, let alone the fact that he was the Qin clan leader. But clearly, his bottom line was much lower than what Qin Wentian imagined. As for Azure Mystic, it was still in a sealed state. No one knew how determined Qin Zheng's words were. Hence, Qin Wentian could ignore Qin Zheng's threat and continue to cultivate in peace. Even if the people outside used divine formations to seal the heaven vault, what use would it be? He would cultivate in the heaven vault for tens of thousands of years. He didn't believe that these people would continue to guard it. However, Qin Wentian was Qin Wentian after all. As long as there was a solution, he wouldn't want to implicate innocent people. This was especially so for the people of Azure Mystic. Qin Wentian nodded to the heaven-devouring demon sovereign. Kun, if you act, how confident are you? The heaven-devouring demon sovereign stared at the Kun sovereign as he asked. No one was more suitable than the Kun sovereign. The Kun sovereign was one of the 5 demon sovereigns. The Tao of the Kunpeng was incomparably powerful and could soar through the 9 heavens and 10 earths, unrestrained by the heavenly Taos. As long as I break through the God formation and poison barrier, none of those people will be able to stop me. The Kun sovereign confidently said. In terms of strength, he might not be able to defeat those peak experts. But in terms of speed, he was confident that even Qin Zheng and the others wouldn't be able to stop him. This was one of the 5 great demon lords, the Kun sovereign. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. The demon god mountain only had 5 heavenly deities, but they were known as the 5 demon sovereigns. Back then when the divine Ox clan admitted defeat, the 5 demon sovereigns of the demon god mountain definitely had their own outstanding points. Demonic beasts had their own areas of expertise. Even if they were able to comprehend the Tao, it was also related to the innate talent of their race. Since there are people who want to make a move against our demon god mountain, let's teach them a lesson. The heaven-devouring demon sovereign spoke coldly. I will go out with you. Including me, the Che clan's heavenly deities haven't even stabilized their divine formations and you want to kill us now? The dragon sovereign stood out as well, speaking coldly. Leave the poison barrier to me. The heaven-devouring demon sovereign spoke, his eyes cold. Even the demon god mountain was used to threaten them. He couldn't endure this any longer. I will accompany seniors out. Qin Wentian spoke. Me too. Luotian Chuan spoke. In the outside world, there were many peak experts of the supreme ancient immortal realms guarding there. Yet, they were actually planning to leave. How audacious of them. Let's make our preparations now. The Kun sovereign spoke. He reverted to his original form and in an instant, a terrifying Kun rock appeared. His body shone with a resplendent light, as though there was Tao might contained within. Qin Wentian felt that this was a little strange. The dragon sovereign transformed into a giant. His entire body was filled with explosive energy as boundless golden light radiated from him. At this moment, he had a violet gold crown on his head and was clad in violet gold robes, resembling a supreme dragon god. He stretched out his hand as a violet gold claw manifested. Terrifying energy gushed forth from it. He had already prepared to unleash it when he was in the heaven vault. In this case, once he left the heaven vault, he would be able to erupt forth with his strongest might. The old dragon and I will destroy the divine formations for you. You just need to focus on advancing. The heaven-devouring demon sovereign spoke. Leave the poison gas to me. Qin Wentian spoke. Everyone nodded. They long knew that the bloodline of the Qin clan had the ability to purify everything and was immune to all poisons. Since Qin Wentian wanted to go out with them, the corrosive power of the poison would naturally be left to Qin Wentian. Right now, Qin Wentian was already strong enough to be independent. They would no longer treat Qin Wentian as a junior, he was an existence on the same level as them. Right now, Qin Wentian's bloodline power gushed forth, fusing into the light, enveloping the Kun rock and the experts on the Kun sovereign's back. In addition, the bloodline power seemed to be infused with the light of the formation. It was like as long as Qin Wentian willed it, his defense could be strengthened at any time. Senior Kun sovereign, are you ready? Qin Wentian asked. Yes. The Kun sovereign spoke in a heavy voice. Let's move out. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. The light around the gigantic body of the Kun sovereign grew increasingly resplendent. His silhouette flashed with inconceivable speed and almost at the same instant, the heaven vault opened. In the outside world, the gazes of everyone were still focused on the divine formation as well as the towering poison gas. At this moment, a crack appeared in the sky as a gigantic figure appeared from within. Emichem. The eyes of the experts flashed, all of them froze for a moment. After that, their eyes gleamed with sharpness. The divine formation that sealed the sky erupted with heaven-shaking might. Boundless destructive light shot out, directly shooting into the heaven vault. However, a roar of rage rang out, sounding like the roar of a dragon. The shadow of numerous divine dragons appeared in the air, revolving around them. An incomparably terrifying violet gold divine dragon appeared in the center. He was like a dragon god, lofty, the lord of heaven and earth. His palms transformed into sharp claws as he slashed out. In an instant, a gigantic claw attack appeared in the sky, tearing apart the heavens and earth, ignoring the distance between them as it directly slammed into the divine formation. In an instant, the divine formation trembled unstably and after that, it started to crumble apart. Even the sky seemed to be trembling. Within the divine formation, numerous dragon shadows actually appeared, frenziedly destroying the divine formation. At the same instant when the dragon sovereign attacked, the heaven-devouring demon sovereign reverted to his true form. An incomparably gigantic heaven-devouring demon beast appeared. He opened his mouth and swallowed the countless beams of light from the divine formation into his stomach. The heavens and earth trembled violently as the divine formation collapsed in an instant. Boundless poison gas gushed out, transforming into a poison world that wanted to devour everyone who exited the heaven vault. The Kun sovereign directly rushed into the poison world and in the next instant, he exited it, ignoring the power of the poison world. The terrifying poison gas still clung onto the Kun sovereign but everyone could see that the poison gas was blocked by a barrier of light around them, being purified bit by bit. But at this moment, the other hegemonic characters also acted. Before this, they created a divine formation and a poison world to envelop the heaven vault. They didn't expect that Qin Wentian and the others would actually dare to come out. This was why they didn't immediately enter the heaven vault. However, since Qin Wentian and the others dared to come out, it wouldn't be so easy for them to leave. A divine formation appeared in the sky as divine punishment light instantly locked onto the Kun sovereign and the figure on his back. Kill! Qin Jing didn't hesitate. As the sound of his voice faded, the divine punishment light descended from the sky. However, at the same instant, the Kun sovereign's body directly arced through the air. The divine punishment light didn't land on the Kuan sovereign but blasted towards the boundless sea instead. In an instant, the boundless sea seemed to have been pierced through as a vacuum abyss appeared, connecting to the seabed. In fact, even the seabed itself was pierced through. The Kuan sovereign's gigantic body directly tunneled into the void. His body turned illusory, flickering in and out of existence, as though he wasn't under the control of any energy. Numerous figures moved at the same time. A lightning region appeared, transforming into a world of lightning. The 9 heavenly thunderbolts frenziedly blasted towards the Kuan sovereign. Even if the Kuan sovereign was in the void, he wouldn't be able to escape. There were also heavenly deities from the prison god clan who acted. They sealed the space, creating an absolute space, wanting to trap the Kuan sovereign within and capture these figures who exited the heaven vault. The dragon sovereign, Luotian Chuan, Qin Wentian and the others all unleashed their attacks, blocking the attacks from the Kuan sovereign. The gigantic Kuan rock's body was still flashing with heavenly Tao light. Every time it flapped its wings, Tao might would be contained within. With a single flap, it traversed the lightning region, and with another flap, it traversed the absolute space. There was no spatial energy that could trap it. What a terrifying speed! The eyes of everyone flashed. The Kuan sovereign's body had already vanished into the clouds. Even the spatial energy that enveloped the heavens and earth had no way to obstruct him. Many heavenly deities chased after the Kuan sovereign. Terrifying energy waves churned in the air, but it didn't take long before everything calmed down. Very swiftly, those hegemonic characters returned here with ashen expressions. The hegemonic characters from the various hegemonic powers joined forces, but they still failed to obstruct the Kuan sovereign. This was definitely a very shameful matter. As for ordinary heavenly deities, they basically didn't even have the qualifications to touch the Kuan sovereign. To many people, this was the first time they fought against the Kuan sovereign head-on. They finally understood why, although the Kuan sovereign wasn't a peak-stage heavenly deity, in terms of speed, there were only a few in the supreme ancient immortal realms who could be compared to the Kuan sovereign. Also, what was truly terrifying was the Tao the Kuan sovereign comprehended after combining the innate talent of the Kuan rock. He was able to traverse all spatial energy in world energy, ignoring all Tao obstructions. It was precisely because of this ability that the Kuan sovereign dared to say that no one would be able to trap him. Bastard! Qin Zheng coldly spoke. He gathered all the experts here and even used a divine formation to seal the heaven vault. But he didn't expect that Qin Wentian and the others would actually walk out so openly and soar through the void. Although they could continue chasing, they understood that it was useless when they saw the Kuan sovereign's speed. They wouldn't be able to catch up to him. At this moment, the Kuan sovereign and the others were already very far away. In the clouds, the Kuan sovereign slowed down and spoke, "No one is chasing us anymore. Kuan, you are injured." The heaven-devouring demon sovereign spoke. On the gigantic body of the Kuan sovereign, there were many traces of blood. "Don't worry about it." The Kuan sovereign spoke in a low voice. Back then, there were so many violent attacks. Although everyone acted together to block them for him, he was still injured when he traversed the Tao. But even so, it didn't affect his speed. Right now, the sky is as high as a bird. If these people wanted to deal with their demon god mountain, they had better be prepared to pay the price. Chapter 1912. Where should we go now? In the air, the Kuan sovereign who was shuttling through the clouds asked. "Let's go to the desolate region." Qin Wentian spoke. The demon god mountain and Luotian clan were both in the desolate region. After they exited, their first destination would naturally be the desolate region. Naturally, other than the demon god mountain and Luotian clan, there was also the divine ox clan. Even if we go to the desolate region, it wouldn't be so easy for us to bring people back to the heaven vault. At the very least, it would be extremely difficult for us to do so within a short period of time. Luotian Chuan spoke in a heavy voice. Everyone naturally understood this logic. Although they managed to barge their way out of the heaven vault, if they wanted to return, the difficulty would be even greater. The experts from the various powers all knew that they were outside. How could they not guard the heaven vault? There's no way for us to bring people back. Since those people threatened us once, there would surely be a second time. The heaven-devouring demon sovereign nodded. After we return, let's temporarily disband the demon god mountain. When the time is right, we will gather all the demons in the desolate region to come to the heaven vault to join us. I believe at that time, as long as the heaven vault gives a command, all the demons would definitely come to join us. The dragon sovereign spoke. The eyes of the heaven-devouring demon sovereign and Kuan sovereign flashed. It seemed like there was no other solution. If they didn't want to be threatened, they could only temporarily give up their headquarters. If not, if Qin Jing threatened them once, there would surely be a second time. Grandfather, what about the Luotian clan? Qin Wentian glanced at Luotian Chuan. I will inform the elders on the Luotian mountain about what happened outside the heaven vault. Let them decide for themselves. I have no way to control their thoughts. Luotian Chuan spoke. Many of those who were willing to follow him were already in the heaven vault. As for the others, they were either followers of Luotian Mu or they didn't want to leave the Luotian mountain. But now, Qin Jing used the Luotian mountain to threaten them. In that case, there was a high possibility that he would act against the Luotian clan. Naturally, he wouldn't allow Qin Wentian to start a war against the Qin clan for the sake of the Luotian mountain. Even if he was Qin Wentian's grandfather, there was no reason for him to say such words. Back then when the Qin clan wanted to deal with Qin Wentian, the Luotian clan chose to abandon Qin Wentian. He left alone to fight against heavenly deity Qin Zhong. Not only did the Luotian clan not save him, they even stopped him from going there. Under such a situation, Qin Wentian was willing to take in the people of the Luotian clan who followed him. This was already because of the blood ties between them. Since the Luotian clan wasn't willing to acknowledge his existence, Qin Wentian naturally wouldn't have any relationship with the people on the Luotian mountain. There was no reason for him to fight for them. As his grandfather, he also couldn't say such words. He could only inform the people on the Luotian mountain and let them decide for themselves. At the same time, what he could do was to do some things outside to deter Qin Zheng and the others. Right. Qin Wentian nodded. The Kuan sovereign continued shuttling through the air, heading towards the desolate region. On the Luotian mountain, the people of the Luotian clan already learned of what happened in the Boundless Sea region. Luotian Chuan also sent news over. At this moment, on the main peak of the Luotian mountain, many experts of the Luotian clan gathered together. Many of them had heavy expressions on their faces. For example, Luotian Mu. His expression was the most unsightly. This time around, we are all implicated by Luotian Chuan and that vile spawn. Luotian Mu coldly spoke. From his point of view, they were implicated by Luotian Chuan and Qin Wentian. They first caused the Luotian clan to split apart and now, the Qin clan even used the Luotian clan to threaten them. It's meaningless to say all this now. What should we do next? An old man spoke. In truth, some of them were already wavering. If they followed Luotian Chuan back then, they would already be cultivating in the heaven vault. As long as they didn't exit, there wouldn't be any danger. Everyone, what do you all think? Luotian Chuan asked. Luotian Chuan said that he would sound a warning to those major powers outside, causing them to feel trepidation. However, we have no idea how effective it would be. As long as the Luotian mountain exists, the other powers might attack at any moment. Also, once Qin Jing joined forces with the other major powers, what we would have to face wouldn't just be the Qin clan alone. At that time, it would definitely be a calamity of annihilation. Hence, we have to be on guard. An old heavenly deity spoke. Everyone had heavy expressions on their faces. Some people sighed in their hearts. Actually, ever since Luotian Mu became the clan leader, the Luotian clan has always been suffering from all sorts of humiliation. It was the Luotian clan and Qin Wentian who helped the Luotian clan regain face. This included killing their way to the Divine Ox clan to stop Devilox from marrying a young lady of the Luotian clan and even killing Devilox. Now, they even asked the Qin clan for Luotian Han and the 10 world overlords. It was precisely because of this that many experts have already followed Luotian Chuan to the Heaven Vault. Right now, the Luotian clan didn't even have half of their original strength. They couldn't see any hope at all. On the contrary, the young man whom the Luotian clan despised back then, the son of Luotian Qianxue, Qin Wentian, the young man whom they abandoned, has already grown to a shocking extent. His name shook the supreme ancient immortal realms and he controlled the entrance to the Heaven Vault, allowing people to cultivate in the 9 heavenly layers. From him, they could see hope. Right now, that young man was fighting against all the experts in the supreme ancient immortal realms. How glorious was this! Even his father back then couldn't do this. Back then, the Divine Ox clan once migrated for the sake of refuge. Someone spoke. After that, the expressions of everyone sank. Migrating, what a tragic decision this was. If that's the case, would the Luotian clan still be the Luotian clan? Someone asked. If that's the case, at the very least, the strength of the Luotian clan would still be united. It's better than disbanding, right? Or maybe we can pretend that nothing has happened and gamble that the Qin clan wouldn't act against the Luotian mountain. That person who spoke coldly spoke, causing everyone to be speechless. Why don't we look for Luotian Chuan and unite the strength of the Luotian clan once again? Another person spoke. After that, numerous cold gazes turned to the person who spoke. This was especially so for Luotian Mu. Right now, those in power on the Luotian mountain had all offended Luotian Chuan. To put it nicely, they were going to look for Luotian Chuan. To put it bluntly, they were going to seek refuge with Luotian Chuan. How could they accept this? After fighting for so many years, they finally gained control of the Luotian clan. Yet, they still wanted to seek refuge with Luotian Chuan. Migrate. Luotian Mu coldly spoke. As the sound of his voice faded, the hearts of everyone trembled. There were still countless people on the Luotian mountain. When they learned of this news, all of them were shocked speechless. The Luotian clan had actually fallen to such a state. Some people didn't agree. They would rather seek refuge with Luotian Chuan. The entire Luotian clan was in a state of chaos. Someone sighed. If they knew this would happen, why would they act in the past? From now onwards, the power led by Luotian Chuan could truly represent the Luotian clan. The Luotian clan only existed in name. Different from the Luotian clan, the Demon God Mountain's decision was to temporarily disband. There were countless demonic beasts in the supreme ancient immortal realms and it was very simple for them to live in the supreme ancient immortal realms. In addition, the 5 demon sovereigns believed that they would grow stronger one day. At that time, with just a single command, the demonic beasts on the Demon God Mountain would naturally return. There was basically no need for them to migrate. In the desolate region, in the majestic Divine Ox Castle, experts were as common as clouds. This was one of the 3 hegemonic powers of the desolate region, the Divine Ox clan. Although in the perspective of the supreme ancient immortal realms, they couldn't be considered a peak power. However, they were filled with ambition and fantasized that one day, they would be the first to rule the desolate region. Once, they married the 3 beauties of the Luotian clan and were extremely pleased with themselves. They thought that they would soon be able to rule the desolate region but a calamity occurred. Luotian Chuan joined forces with the Demon God Mountain and the 5 demon sovereigns descended. Devilox was killed and his Dao bone was seized. However, the Divine Ox clan still believed that they were still the strongest power in the desolate region. They would rule the desolate region sooner or later. At this moment, in the airspace above the Divine Ox castle, a raging wind gusted as black clouds covered the sky. In the air, an incomparably gigantic figure appeared. This figure was so large that it blotted out the sky. It was a supremely gigantic beast. As it flapped its wings, the raging winds were like the sharpest blades, lacerating the earth. The entire sky was filled with a scene of doomsday. Kuan Peng. The Kuei Ox of the Divine Ox clan naturally recognized the Kuan Peng. Kuan Sovereign. A cold voice rang out. A few ox deities soared into the air and stared at the descending figure. Why did you come to my Divine Ox clan? A ox deity asked. We didn't teach the Divine Ox clan a lesson for the matters in the past. Your chieftain actually dared to instigate the other hegemonic powers to act against my demon god mountain in the boundless sea. Since this is the case, I will let the Divine Ox clan remember this forever. The Kuan sovereign coldly spoke. After that, a few figures walked down from the gigantic body of the Kuan sovereign. They were none other than the Dragon Sovereign and the heaven-devouring Demon Sovereign. Both of them reverted to their true forms, exuding a fearsome might. Qin Wentian and Luotian Chuan floated in the air with cold expressions on their faces. Let's start with the Divine Ox clan and warn the other hegemonic powers of the supreme ancient immortal realms. The Kuan sovereign's wings flapped as he slashed out. In an instant, two heavenly blades slashed down, lacerating the earth. The Divine Ox castle was torn apart. The vast region seemed to have been severed. Below, countless experts from the Divine Ox clan screamed in agony as they stared at the figures in the air in terror. Right now, the Divine Ox clan only had 3 ox deities. The other heavenly deities all followed the chieftain to the boundless sea region and have yet to return. They were still fantasizing about entering the heaven vault, or maybe they were still waiting for Qin Wentian. However, Qin Wentian had already killed his way into their territory. Kill these 3 ox deities and treat it as a warning. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. His target was the heavenly deities. Heavenly deities were the true peak powers. The others weren't that important. Keeping them alive would serve as a warning. The heaven-devouring demon sovereign nodded, understanding Qin Wentian's intentions. Although the demon god mountain was disbanded, the demons were still around. If he wanted to make the Divine Ox clan feel some trepidation, there was no need for them to annihilate the Divine Ox clan. If the Divine Ox clan didn't want to be annihilated, they wouldn't dare to act recklessly and deal with the demons of the demon god mountain. 5 heavenly deities acted together to deal with 3 ox deities. No matter how one looked at it, there was no suspense at all. The 3 ox deities exchanged mutual glances before they directly turned and left. Do you think you can leave? Qin Wentian coldly spoke. As the sound of his voice faded, his eyes turned extremely terrifying, transforming into the heavenly eyes. The space before him twisted as the space before him revolved frenziedly, enveloping the entire space within it. After that, it transformed into his world of time and space. The expressions of the 3 ox deities turned ashen. Was this the method Qin Wentian used to easily defeat the 2 heavenly deities of the Qin clan? He could create a space-time world with a single glance. Chapter 1913. In the boundless sea region, below the heaven vault, the experts were still there, including the hegemonic characters of the various hegemonic powers. Although Qin Wentian and the others stepped out of the heaven vault, could it be that they would never return again? Clearly, it was impossible. The Ox chieftain was here as well. But at this moment, a voice suddenly rang out in his mind, causing the Ox chieftain to erupt forth with a heaven-shaking aura. He roared in rage, "Bastard!" In an instant, countless gazes turned to him as bewilderment could be seen on their faces. "Chieftain, what happened? Qin Jing asked. The Ox chieftain actually had such a huge reaction. Qin Wentian, Luotian Chuan and the Kun sovereign, the three demon sovereigns, went to my divine Ox castle. The Ox chieftain's body trembled. He didn't move. At this moment it was impossible for him to rush back. Right now, he could only pray. But in truth, he also understood in his heart that given the strength of Qin Wentian and the others, the strength of the divine Ox castle was far from enough. Their ending would be extremely miserable. When he thought of what might happen, his heart pounded unceasingly. If it wasn't for his mental fortitude, his body would probably be trembling. He was afraid, truly afraid. Even if he was the Ox chieftain, he was also afraid. The divine Ox castle was the foundation of his divine Ox clan, there were his descendants. Now that Qin Wentian and the others killed their way over, what would the fate of the divine Ox castle be like? The eyes of the hegemonic powers flashed. Those experts who acted against the heaven vault all felt worry in their hearts. Qin Wentian and the others were taking revenge, this was a form of threat to them. Now that he went to the divine Ox castle, would his group go to the other powers? Seems like Qin Wentian's words earlier have stimulated Qin Wentian. Many people silently mused. Using the divine formation and poison world to seal the heaven vault and also wanting to deal with the Luotian clan in Qinqing realm, Qin Wentian and the others took the risk and barged out, starting to take revenge. Chieftain, don't be anxious. They shouldn't dare to act ruthlessly against the divine Ox castle. If not, wouldn't Chieftain go and kill them? Qin Jing calmly spoke. He wanted nothing more than for the Ox chieftain to do those things, to deal with the Luotian clan and massacre the Qinqing realm. If that's the case, these sins wouldn't have to be placed on him. As for the Qin clan, although he was a little worried, it was still fine. The Qin clan wasn't something the divine Ox clan could be compared to. Qin Ding was still guarding the Qin clan. If Qin Wentian dared to go there, it wouldn't be so easy for him to leave. The Ox chieftain had an unsightly expression on his face as his anger seethed. Qin Wentian didn't dare to deal with the Qin clan, yet he chose to vent his anger on the divine Ox clan. Did he think that the divine Ox clan was so easy to bully? Everyone looked at him, waiting for the follow-up news. Not long after, the Ox chieftain roared in rage. He transformed into a true Ox god as his terrifying aura swept through the heavens and earth. Qin Wentian, Luotian Chuan, I will definitely kill the two of you. The Ox chieftain roared in rage. The news has already been transmitted back. The three heavenly deities guarding the divine Ox castle have all fallen. Other than this, the divine Ox castle was destroyed and many experts from the divine Ox clan died miserably. Before Qin Wentian and the others left, they left behind a message, telling the Ox clan to stay in the divine Ox castle for now. If the divine Ox clan still had the intention to deal with the demon god mountain and Luotian clan, they wouldn't be so polite next time. Qin Wentian and the others didn't directly raise the divine Ox castle to flat ground because the Luotian clan, demon god mountain and Qinqing realm were still around. It wasn't that they didn't have any reservations. This time around, they killed the three heavenly deities and threatened the divine Ox clan, making them be more obedient. Naturally, this was also a threat to the other hegemonic powers. This was telling the other hegemonic powers that if they wanted to do as Qin Jing said, they better be prepared to suffer the wrath of the Ox clan. After that, more news came from the desolate region. The three heavenly deities of the divine Ox clan were killed and the divine Ox castle was destroyed. Many Ox demons died. Before Qin Wentian left, he left behind a threat. At the same time, the Luotian mountain also migrated. The experts of the Luotian mountain all left the Luotian mountain. It was unknown where they would head to. Naturally, there were also some who were unwilling to leave and chose to stay behind. The internal affairs of the Luotian mountain were shaken once more. However, the Luotian clan on the Luotian mountain no longer existed in name. Everyone understood that the true representative of the Luotian clan was still the branch led by Luotian Chuan. Not only for the Luotian mountain, on a single day, the countless demonic beasts on the Demon God Mountain all suddenly left the Demon God Mountain, heading towards various locations in the desolate region. The Demon God Mountain disintegrated. From now on, the three hegemonic powers of the desolate region were all shaken. The Luotian mountain migrated, the Demon God Mountain disintegrated, the Divine Ox clan was attacked and even the Divine Ox castle was destroyed. The desolate region instantly fell into chaos. Many hegemonic powers saw hope and started to expand. Many powerful characters came out of seclusion and entered the desolate region to vie for supremacy, preparing to become the new hegemon. In a short period of time, the desolate region entered a period of chaos as battles erupted unceasingly. And at the same time when the desolate region was in chaos, news suddenly circulated out from the Earth region saying that there were experts who saw the Kuan sovereign in the Earth region. The Kuan sovereign was flying in the air, blotting out the sun. For a period of time, the hegemonic powers of the Earth region all started to feel nervous. And also on the day the Kuan sovereign appeared, a few experts from the Thunder clan of the desolate region went missing. They were abducted and their whereabouts were unknown. Several days later, news of their deaths spread out. It was rumored that this was done by Qin Wentian and the Kuan sovereign. This was revenge for the Thunder clan acting against them back then. However, they didn't act openly against the Thunder clan. This could be considered a small warning. The experts from the hegemonic powers of the Earth region all returned from the Heaven Vault, leaving behind only one or two heavenly deities in the Boundless Sea region. The other experts were preparing to return to their clans to deal with the danger. However, after they returned, everything was calm and nothing happened. However, the seed of a threat had already been planted. After that, there were people who said that they saw the Kuan sovereign in the Ian region. There were also people who said that they saw the Kuan sovereign in the Flood region. In any case, the experts from the hegemonic powers who acted against Qin Wentian back then all returned to their clans as a precaution. The lesson from the Divine Ox clan was there for all to see. None of the hegemonic powers dared to be careless. He didn't expect Qin Wentian to use such a method to resolve the predicament of the Heaven Vault. As for why he threatened Qin Wentian to deal with the Qinqing realm of the Luotian clan, right now, the Luotian clan has already migrated and the Demon God Mountain has disintegrated. He didn't really feel that the Qinqing realm would be able to threaten Qin Wentian. In truth, there was no need to deal with the Qinqing realm. That was merely a region governed by Qin Wentian. As for the remaining Azure Mystic, the ban was still there. No one knew what the consequences would be if they wanted to enter the Azure Mystic Immortal realms. Time flowed by. The people of the Boundless Sea region all knew that if they continued to stay here, Qin Wentian wouldn't walk into the trap unless they sent experts to search for him. However, the other party had 5 heavenly deities. They would need an extremely powerful army of heavenly deities to deal with them. Also, even if they could deal with them, with the Kuan sovereign around, who would be able to stop them? It was too difficult. Many people's patience was being ground away bit by bit. Dang Tian, the date of your wedding is getting closer. Let's go to the Chu clan and let Chu Shen and Nick Hang make their preparations. Today, Qin Jing spoke. Back then, Qin Ding personally went to the Chu clan to set the date of the wedding. It was already very close now. Seems like the matter of the Heaven Vault could only be temporarily tossed aside. Father, for the wedding of Nick Hang, I wish to invite all the hegemonic powers of the supreme ancient immortal realms. Qin Dangtian spoke. He was the Heaven's son. How could his wedding with goddess Nick Hang be ordinary? He had to attract the attention of the entire world. Okay, leave it to me and your mother to handle it. We will definitely make this wedding a grand affair. Qin Jing nodded. His talent was outstanding but he only had a single son. This son of his was so outstanding, there was no need for him to have a second son. All his hopes were placed on Qin Dangtian. As they spoke, they headed towards the Chu residence. Chu Shen still welcomed them, but his attitude wasn't as warm as before. Qin Jing didn't mind it. "Nick Heng, the date of our wedding will be in a few more days. During this wedding, I want all the women in the world to be envious of you." Qin Dangtian arrogantly spoke. He had the qualifications to do so. He was the Heaven's son, the future leader of the Qin clan. How grand would his wedding be? Goddess Nikhang was cold, she didn't say anything. Qin Dangtian was long used to her personality. It was precisely because of this that he could enjoy the joy of conquering her. After a few more days, this iceberg-like beauty, the #1 beauty in the heaven region, would become his woman. After the banquet, Qin Zheng and Qin Dangtian left. "Nikhang, have you thought things through?" Chu Shen asked Goddess Nikhang. "What can I do?" Goddess Nikhang softly spoke. "Breaking the wedding." This was something they personally agreed to. Breaking the wedding, especially the wedding of Qin Dangtian, the Heaven's son of the Qin clan. There was no need for her to say anything, they all understood the consequences. "If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have allowed you to choose yourself back then. I would have rejected it for you." Chu Shen sighed, feeling somewhat helpless. Back then, he didn't persuade Nikhang because he wanted a good ending. Nikhang was married to Qin Dangtian and would become the mother of the Qin clan in the future. He naturally hoped for his granddaughter to live a good life. However, as Qin Wentian appeared, as well as the news of Chu Mo, Chu Shen gradually changed his mind. But since he already agreed to it, it was easier said than done if he wanted to break the wedding. Most probably, even if Chu Mo was here, it would be very difficult for him to do so. After Qin Zheng returned to the Qin clan, he started to send out invitations. Many peak powers in the supreme ancient immortal realms all received invitations from the Qin clan. Heaven's son Qin Dangtian and the #1 beauty in the heaven region, Goddess Nikhang. Their wedding invitations. Right now, Qin Wentian was in the heaven region. Also, most probably, no one knew that Qin Wentian wasn't just in the heaven region. He was in Qin City, the base of the Qin clan. He was in Qin City and naturally received the news immediately. After learning that the wedding between Qin Dangtian and Nikhang was nearing, he couldn't help but to sigh in his heart. Chapter 1914. Qin City. This was the first time Qin Wentian stepped into this ancient majestic city. Most probably, the people of the Qin clan would never have imagined that Qin Wentian would actually dare to step into this place. Walking on the incomparably bustling streets, Qin Wentian could truly sense how powerful this Qin city was. Even world overlords weren't rare here, and they could occasionally see the Qin clan, a peak power of the heaven region. From this, one could very well imagine how prosperous Qin City was. Father should have left his footprints here, right? Qin Wentian silently mused. His father was born in the Qin clan and grew up in the Qin clan. When he was young, he would definitely frequently walk around this city. Now, he was here as well, feeling the charm of this city. Walking in the city, his gaze turned towards the central area. Over there, he could see a Qin palace that towered up into the sky. Over there, was the Qin clan. No matter which corner of Qin City you were in, as long as you lifted your head, you would be able to see the Qin palace. Because, the Qin palace was simply too vast, boundlessly vast. It was said that the Qin palace was even more vast compared to the other regions of Qin City. There were many castles within, and the cultivators of the various bloodlines of the Qin clan resided there. At this moment, there were saint beasts galloping through the air. On top of the saint beasts, there were several figures. The person in the lead was a young man and a young woman. The young man was incomparably handsome, exuding magnificence through the generations. The young woman was extremely beautiful, causing the hearts of people to pound with a single glance. However, the people of Qin City didn't dare to have any improper thoughts because they knew the identities of these people. They were from the Qin Palace. Qin Yan, Qin Lan. It said that they went to the Nine Heavens mystical palace to issue an invitation. Below, many passers-by inclined their heads and stared at the sky. For some peak powers, the Qin clan even sent people to personally deliver the invitation. Qin Yan and Qin Lan have already become transcendent-level world overlords. It's unknown how many men and women are in love with them. This is especially so for Qin Lan. Given her status, cultivation base, and beauty, most probably only the geniuses of the other peak powers would be able to match up to her. Someone sighed in his heart. For a woman like her, they could only stare at her from afar, not daring to profane her. Even for world overlords, they wouldn't dare to have any improper thoughts about her. There are people below talking about you again, said Qin Yan, who was on the sacred beast in the air, with a faint smile. Qin Lan's beautiful eyes flashed with arrogance, she didn't look down. She had heard such voices many times before. However, who said that a woman must marry someone of a lower status? Unless a supreme character like her clan brother Qin Dangtian appeared, only then would her heart be moved. The invitation has been delivered. There's no hurry to return to the clan. How about enjoying some good food? Qin Yan smiled as he spoke. Qin Lan's beautiful eyes flashed as she nodded her head lightly. Delicacies were what she liked. It wasn't bad to occasionally enjoy them. Seems like they are going to the culinary god residence, someone thought to himself after hearing the conversation in the sky. The culinary god residence was the #1 restaurant in Qin City. The culinary god's residence, Qin Wentian murmured. His divine will spread out, and he took a step forward, heading in a certain direction. As the largest inn in Qin City, the environment of the food god residence was extremely good. It was extremely spacious and each table had its own pavilion, allowing one to enjoy the delicacies in peace. Also, the people who came here were all world overlords. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to afford this. When Qin Yan and Qin Lan arrived, many people instantly recognized them. They clasped their hands to them and greeted, Sir Qin, Miss Qin Lan. The two of them casually nodded and found a good seat to sit down. Qin Wentian also arrived and sat down not far away from them. There were still some voices in the pavilion earlier, but now, it suddenly turned silent. Clearly, it was because of the arrival of Qin Yan and Qin Lan. You guys are free to do as you please, there's no need to feel restrained. Qin Yan glanced at everyone and calmly spoke. Everyone smiled and nodded, only to hear a world overlord speaking. I've long heard of Sir Qin and Miss Qin's fame. Now that I've met you today, I feel that your fame is even greater than the rumors. Qin Yan smiled, he didn't mind it at all. He had heard such words of flattery too many times. However, they were all fake and meaningless. His goal wasn't to be compared to the mortals in the outside world. Miss Qin Lan's beauty is unparalleled. Although I've never seen the #1 beauty of the heaven region, Goddess Nikhang before, I'm sure Miss Qin's beauty wouldn't lose out to her. A young world overlord smiled and praised. There were no women who didn't like others praising their beauty. Qin Lan was no exception. You haven't seen her before, but I've seen her before. The #1 beauty of the heaven region, Goddess Nikhang, is much more beautiful than me. Qin Lan calmly spoke. Although she liked the praise of others, it didn't mean that she would be complacent. She had seen Goddess Nikhang before, and in terms of beauty, she naturally wouldn't be able to compare to her. Miss Qin is too humble. That person laughed. However, the marriage between Heaven's Son and Goddess Nikhang has already circulated around the world. It's truly a beautiful story. They are an immortal couple, a match made in heaven. That's only natural. When he turned, the contours of his face also changed. Very swiftly, an extremely handsome and young face appeared. When Qin Lan saw this face, she was instantly stunned by Qin Wentian's aura. Qin Wentian. A calm voice rang out from Qin Wentian's mouth. At this moment, the hearts of everyone in the inn trembled violently. Qin Yuanfeng's son, Qin Wentian. He actually came to Qin City, a place where the Qin clan could be seen with a single glance. He actually had the guts to come to this city alone. Not only that, he even revealed his identity to the experts of the Qin clan. Qin Lan and Qin Yan instantly retreated, feeling incomparably wary. The news of the desolate region had long circulated out. The Kun sovereign had once appeared in the various regions and many peak powers were on guard against him. Now that Qin Wentian suddenly appeared in Qin City, Qin Yan and Qin Lan naturally thought that he was here to deal with the juniors of the Qin clan. If you guys attempt to take out your messaging crystals, I can guarantee that you won't be able to survive until the moment the message is sent. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. The two of them who wanted to take out their messaging crystals immediately stopped their thoughts. Qin Wentian's fame right now wasn't any weaker compared to Heaven's son Qin Dangtian. In the boundless sea region, he became a heavenly deity with a single battle. The two heavenly deities of the Qin clan couldn't even withstand a single strike from him. And now, he actually appeared in Qin City. Qin Lan's heart trembled violently. Her beautiful eyes stared at the handsome figure before her. She had always wanted to know what sort of person Qin Wentian was exactly. Today, she saw it for herself. Qin Wentian was as magnificent as Qin Dangtian. Just by casually standing there, he gave off an incomparable pressure. He was still so young and so handsome. Also, his surname was Qin as well. The bloodline of the Qin clan flowed in his veins. Don't worry, I'm not here to kill you guys. I have no intentions of abducting you guys either. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. After that, he waved his hand as a piece of paper flew out, shining with a dazzling light as it floated before Qin Yan and Qin Lan. This is my challenge letter. You guys can pass it to the Qin clan. Qin Dangtian has the title of Heaven's Son, claiming himself to be unparalleled and arrogant. You guys also claim that he has never been defeated before. Since this is the case, I'm sure he wouldn't lack the courage to accept the challenge. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. As the sound of his voice faded, he stepped out as spatial energy gushed forth. In an instant, Qin Wentian vanished from sight. A challenge letter. The hearts of the people in the inn trembled. Qin Wentian was issuing a challenge to Qin Dangtian. Qin Yan and Qin Lan stared at the challenge letter. Qin Wentian issued a challenge to the Heaven Son of the Qin clan.